everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me once again is my buddy Chris. Chris, I think this is your third or fourth show.
I think so. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with my hands here.
If it's your third show, it's a pattern now.
It is, yes.
You are officially the regular co-host of the show, and then watch you not be able to make it for like the next 5 weeks or something.
Right? I get the plague or something too.
Oh no, not the plague!
The plague, yeah.
We had COVID a few years ago. The next big pandemic is simply
just
vaguely the plague.
The plague.
Yep, that's all anybody wants to call it.
Everybody's just like, what happened? He got sick. With what? He's sick.
Well, they're afraid it'll be worse if we name it.
That's true, yeah. We don't want to know it's angry at us.
Anyway, welcome everybody. This is usually a weekly show, so when we skip one, it feels like it's been 9 years.
Yes.
I've got a bunch of books, as you might expect, once again, because it's been 2 weeks, so I've got a bunch of stuff to show you a little bit later. Chris, I'm really excited about this week, because a book that I've been excited for since even before I decided to get back into Current is coming out tomorrow.
Really?
And I cannot wait. Can you guess what it is?
I can't. No. Does it have something to do with the Powerpuff Girls?
It does not have
anything. It does not? Okay,
no,
wow.
In fact, there are...
Zero Powerpuff Girls.
No, there are a decent number of people that are likely to watch the show that will also have their interest piqued by this.
Really? Yeah.
This is much more mainstream than that. Yes, but I will bring that up later when we get that. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you. Austin knows it. Don't read Austin's comment.
Yep. Not looking. Not even looking.
So we're going to go ahead and get into tomorrow's books here pretty soon. Later in the program, we're actually going to bring Austin in to talk about some of the books he's gotten in the last couple of weeks. And by gotten, I mean bought digitally, because Austin doesn't buy physical flat books, but he does read a bunch of stuff that I don't, and I thought it would be nice to get that variety, because we're reading almost opposite sets of books. We've got a little bit of crossover.
Right.
We're both reading a little bit of the same DC stuff. Like he's also been buying crypto.
Yes.
But he's been reading all the Energon Universe stuff and all of that, and so there's a lot of stuff over the last couple weeks that he's not caught up on, but he can tell us about just the series as they stand so far, and give us a little bit of that Image Skybound stuff.
Yeah.
And he and I have reviewed the first couple of arcs of Transformers. I've not gotten back to that myself, and I'm not buying those in singles. I bought a couple of issues for covers because those have great covers, but I'm not necessarily planning on collecting all of that because I've never been a big Transformers collector. But I want to own that stuff at least in trade. Maybe I'll end up sprinkling in the singles. I don't know yet.
You might be surprised. I mean, those books are more than meets the eye. I'm ashamed of that one.
they were though. I didn't expect that series to be so deep and philosophical and make me feel things. I don't know if you've read any of that yet.
I've read little bits and pieces. Was it Boom or Dynamite that was before?
IDW had it.
IDW, that's what I'm thinking
pretty
of.
sure.
Yeah. And then for a while, is Daniel Warren Johnson still doing it? Or is it somebody else now?
So he... I think his run is almost over.
Right.
And then, we've talked about this before, but then they're going to Kirkman.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a big deal that he was taking that book over. And a lot of people were guessing that maybe he would.
Right.
Still pretty crazy, though.
Yeah,
that he's going to be writing the main Transformers book. And, of course, he had one of the other books. Is he doing Void Rivals, or is he doing one of the other books? I can't remember.
I gotta be honest, Robert Kirkman's at a point where I'm surprised he's doing anything at all. I'm surprised he's not, sitting in a mansion somewhere or just on his mountain of Walking Dead Invincible Cash too.
But I'm just saying he does one of those. I'm pretty sure it's Void Rivals.
Yeah.
And he oversees that whole thing.
Right.
And then the G.I. Joe book is roped in there, and then there's another thing or two. I can't remember if Snake Eyes has his own book. I think so. Yeah. I haven't been paying attention to any of that.
I think there's 3 Snake Eyes now or something like that too.
Yeah, and then of course Moore is drawing that book. Says Tyler. No, you should be less shocked that Kirkman is writing as much as he is, and more shocked that Dan Mora has the time to do as much as he's doing.
I know.
Because that's wild, man.
He's just like Mr. DC now, too. He is on, their company.
Well,
he is the DC guy.
He's doing a lot of covers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's actually on a monthly there right now.
He was on, like, he was the Superman guy for a while. He was, like, the world's finest guy for a while.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
I didn't know
if I remember
that.
right, too. If I could be mistaken.
I'd like to go back and get those issues.
Yeah.
And of course, Superman's been really good. I haven't read it past issue 6 or 7, and it's up to 28, 30 now.
Yeah, I need to actually get back and jump onto that, too, just because...
Now that I'm buying current again, it's really hard to decide what stuff I'm going to go back and fill singles out for, or if I'm just going to go the somewhat cheaper route and go trade with that stuff. I still haven't decided, but I really liked what I read of that.
That's the thing, too, though. It's, like, so much... I know we were saying, too, it's, like, trying to figure out what is... Just even what's out there, too, and what to keep up with. And I know that's been... Even like, the last few episodes, we've even said, too, like, yeah, what do you buy?
Oh, I feel like we're providing a bit of a public service.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, and like I'm doing this as much for me as anybody else. This is a bit of a selfish endeavor because it forces me to keep up more.
Yeah.
And I can look at what's happening tomorrow, and then I make a list, and then I go in prepared. But then everybody that's watching the show, and I mean, you guys can look up that list yourself also, but it's kind of fun for all of us to just kind of do this together.
Yeah.
And then I can show you the stuff I've been buying and tell you whether it's worth your time or not. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into tomorrow's books.
Yes.
Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
So the big thing tomorrow is Matt Fraction's Batman. It's finally here, folks.
Oh, yes.
Look at that cover. It's glorious. I've had this in my pull for a couple of months. I've been really excited about this thing finally coming out. And a lot of people feel like there's a lot of hope with this, and we might finally get a real stable, worthwhile, ongoing Batman. Because, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, Batman's been kind of up and down for a while now, too. And I say this as a big Chip Zdarsky guy, too. Like, I liked a lot of his runs, but it was uneven, too. I do have to
I've heard nothing but bad things about his Batman, though.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I read a couple of issues, and it seemed dreadful, and all I've heard is dreadful things. All I've heard is he goes in and he grabs other writers' toys, tries to reinvent them and make them his own, and he like guts and ruins as much about the origin as humanly possible.
I mean, he does have like a multiverse of Batmans of Zur-En-Arrh, which it just depends how you feel about the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. And like I did at least conceptually like the idea of failsafe. I think like as far as like Batman's feeling, I mean, it could have been a little bit more, but I still at least conceptually liked it. And like, I guess it depends how much you care about multiverse stuff too, because that was a big chunk of it. And also too, I'm a sucker for the fact that he had a Riddler story where the Riddler put a mind control device in Commissioner Gordon's glasses because he was framing him. So that is a big your mileage may vary on that. So it kind of depends. I think it's a lot of Chip Zdarsky stuff. It can be for as great as a lot of what he's done has been. He can be kind of an acquired taste sometimes too. So
he just sounds really uneven to me. Like like maybe that wasn't the right character for him. We make a lot of, and I'm saying this having not read very much of it. So like I didn't have a good first impression with it.
Right.
But it's not fair because I also didn't read the first issue or two. I read it a few in, and I just sampled it when we were, or maybe it was the start of it. I don't think it was though. But I sampled that when Dan and Austin and I sampled a bunch of the stuff in the DC's new initiative when Superman started.
Right.
And that was one of the weaker books I thought, but I didn't read all that much of it. So I'm saying this based on hearsay, admittedly, but everything I hear about that book sounds like stuff I just don't really want in my Batman.
And you're not wrong.
And it sounds like he was grasping at straws and just didn't really know what to do with that character. And we obviously draw a lot of parallels between Daredevil and Batman, but I would argue that just because you can write a good Daredevil doesn't necessarily mean you can write a good Batman.
No, that is true, yeah.
Especially if what you're most interested in with Batman is the more wild out there cosmic level stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you write a good Daredevil, this is going to sound weird.
Right.
But I feel like if you write a decent Daredevil and you're doing the more traditional street level, gritty, Frank Miller type stuff with Daredevil,
Yes.
you should just bring that to Batman. And you should write Batman more or less the way you're writing your Daredevil. I guess which sounds contradictory to the thing I just said, that if you can write a good Daredevil, you can't necessarily write a good Batman. The reason I'm saying
you can
that,
as well too.
But the reason I'm saying that is because they're at different levels of popularity, and what people tend to do when they write Batman is think too much about his popularity and how important it's supposed to be,
Right.
and they'll get too much into the weeds with the lore of it all. And if you just go to brass tacks and tell a good detective story, a good Daredevil writer should be able to write a really good Batman. But what I've heard about his Batman sounds like the antithesis to his Daredevil. Why isn't he just doing what he did on Daredevil on Batman?
He does.
And that's why people were excited about his Batman, and then he didn't deliver that at all.
And you're right too, in that he does go into a lot of other people's toolkits, other people's toy boxes, because like, look, I know Morrison can be kind of hit and miss for people too, but there's a lot of like Morrison ideas that people want to try out just because they happened in that run and they didn't go anywhere. So people are like, well, let's do something with that. Which on one hand is great.
We wouldn't mind it if it was good.
Yeah, we wouldn't mind if it was good. That's the thing.
No, there is that.
Yeah.
But what I'm taking more issue with, if it's true, again, this isn't fair. I've not read very much of it.
I've only read like little bits and pieces. I've come like in and out of it too, just so you know.
Okay, but then that could also be
we've read two halves of the same comic too.
But hear me out. That could also be Spawn syndrome, where if you read random issues of Spawn, that seems like an okay book, and then when you actually read everything in order, you're like, what the hell is this?
Exactly.
So it could be like that.
Could be like that too. That's the
that's all I'm saying.
I mean, when you read it too, it's like, oh, cool. They have like they're doing a nice tribute. They're having to meet Adam West. They're having him.
I heard about that.
Yeah. He does get the bat.
Tyler's talking about that in the
comments. Yeah, exactly. Too. He does get the bat shark repellent too, which, again, it just depends. I think part of it too is like some of the highs of it. Well, I say highs, but like the more noble moments kind of depend. At least the ones that people know about on your tolerance for, I don't want to say fan service, but fan service.
Yeah. But some of it is just give me some variety. I feel like all Batman has been for a lot of years now is either really self-important or just nostalgia bait or both.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a little bit tired of that. Not everything can or should be White Knight.
Yes.
It's kind of time to get past that. And I love that stuff. It's also out of continuity.
Right, exactly.
Every Batman book does not need to be a love letter and a tribute to Batman. Right. And some of my favorite Batman stuff does that. I talk about Return of the Caped Crusaders all the time. All that is a love letter to the dark and gritty history of Batman through the Adam West lens. It's wonderful.
Right.
But month to month, I'm going to get really sick of it. And also, again, just variety. You also... Some of it is about the real estate. It's about where that's happening.
Right.
You can do that out of continuity. You can do that in an animated movie. And you can do a little bit of it here and there in monthly. But the problem is, if that's all you're doing...
Right. Eventually, you have to push it forward, too. You have to, like, make your own...
Yeah, you got to tell stories.
Story. Yeah, you have to tell your own stories, too. You have to actually say something new and bring something new to a character that, I mean... Let's be honest.
It's hard to do, obviously, with Batman. But the thing is, you can actually go back and rehash some things right now that would feel really fresh just because we don't do it anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I don't need you to reinvent the wheel or do something totally brilliant and brand new right now.
Right.
I need you to just take it back to brass tacks.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Fraction is going to be doing. But his take sounds like he wants to go back to kind of Englehart level lighthearted, where like, and I don't mean to say that Englehart was super lighthearted, but compared to what we're doing now,
he was still pre-Frank Miller. He was still pre-Dark Knight, pre-Year One too.
And so Fraction's big thing has been, and I think this is odd, but I get where he's coming from. It doesn't ring in my Gotham City.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard him say that, but that's what Fraction keeps saying. He's like, Batman still needs to be a creature of the night, but the whole thing doesn't have to be about how, like dark and horrible in a different, in its own character Gotham is. Like, we've been there and done that so much. He wants to go back to Crusader Batman.
Right.
And I miss that. We don't do a lot of that in mainstream anymore.
And even a lot of the stuff with them making Gotham its own character, I mean, that's such a cliche, but Snyder was able to make that work really well too. I mean, with like the Court of Owls stuff, a lot of that was just about Batman figuring out that he doesn't know Gotham as well as he thought it was, and that no matter how much he's part of this city, there's always that layer under it too, that there's always something new to discover too. I mean, you could do the stories where Gotham is like its own force of nature, but also you have to remember too that, like, I mean, the book's called Batman. the book's called Batman.
Well, and again, stuff I'm just sick of because we've done it so much.
Yeah.
I'm done opening a Batman comic and the first page is personifying Gotham.
Yeah.
And I like talking about the heart and the soul of the city.
Yeah.
I close up the comic and don't even read it anymore.
Yeah.
There's been so much of that.
Yeah.
Especially going back to Miller, and like we can't stop doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm sick of that. But anyway, what else is coming out? So I'm stoked about Fraction.
Yeah.
The art looks wonderful.
Love the cover.
That first
too.
cover's
I really love that.
real bold.
Yeah.
And I think this is. Let me say this real quick before we move on. I think this is the first series. I could be overstating this. We'll see how well it goes.
Yeah.
And we don't get good sales numbers anymore, so it's going to be difficult to tell. But I think this could be the first DC book that, if not rivaling Absolute, will at least like crack the numbers that that your regular Batman book should, or get closer to that.
Right.
Like that book hasn't been anywhere near the top 10 or 20 in a while. Apparently,
for a Batman book too. I mean,
and I think this will.
Yeah.
I think it'll crack at least the top 20, at least the first couple issues. But hopefully, it's really good and it can stick there.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about regular mainstream DC right now. It's all about Absolute. And this is the first ongoing. There's miniseries and stuff. This is the first ongoing.
Yeah.
That I think, if that first issue is great, will finally crack into that again.
And if anyone could do it, it'd be Fraction too. I mean, Fraction's got the talent and even just the name recognition too.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into this right now, but just that name is shocking because DC and Marvel have not been courting the big talent in a long time. And I've been hearing things about how like poor the page rates have been and how they're just not paying people, and how they keep hiring kind of subpar writers that don't have a lot of experience, don't really know what they're doing. You can see it especially in Marvel, but there's a lot of it in DC too, and it seems like a lot of writers will just keep not failing upwards, but failing sideways, where like they'll do a book that nobody buys, and then they'll try again, and for some reason Marvel will give them more work, and then they'll go to DC and they'll do the same crap, and it takes forever before they're finally replaced, while meanwhile they're losing all this money.
Yeah.
But they're also not being paid all that much.
Right.
And so when people like a Hickman or a Fraction are even willing to work at these companies anymore, or even Jason Aaron, it's like you got to wonder if, and I would assume, who knows, I'm speculating, but you got to wonder, are they getting like way higher deals just so that they'll work there, or are they taking big hits just because they care enough about these characters to try to make them decent again? It's really hard to say.
I've heard
but this is why I haven't been in comics anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard that accountants at Marvel and DC have even said too how when they even just cutting checks, they can see the difference between like your average like journeyman on like a mid-tier book versus like somebody that's a name. And they didn't name names, so we don't know if it's like a Fraction or an Aaron or somebody like that too. But
or they're just talking about Dennis Hopeless.
Yeah, exactly.
because
Hometown hero, by the way.
Well, I don't. Yeah, and like Hopeless is a nice guy,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to throw him under the bus.
Right.
But what I mean is, I I take all of what you just said with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because
I heard it from the internet.
No,
and that never lies.
Yeah, but that's not my point.
No,
my point is the people inside of the big two are going to have different opinions than you and I about what A-list talent is now.
Right.
Because they're going to pretend, or they've duped themselves into deciding that the quality is higher than it is.
Yeah.
And that some of these people that were kind of D-list workman sorts of writers are the big guns now because they ran everybody else off.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be, super negative about it, but I'm just calling it like I'm seeing it. It seems like there was this shift that happened just before I stopped reading New again.
Yeah.
Just before I stopped reading New, where they were pushing names like Tomasi, like he's a Jason Aaron.
Yeah.
And he's not.
Yeah.
And, I think he's gotten better over time.
Right.
But your Tomasis, your Tinians, those became their top-tier talents.
Yeah.
And they never felt like that to me. And then they ran them off, too.
You know what?
Those guys aren't even they're doing their own creator own stuff now too.
You know what probably was? They probably just work fast. I've heard too that with comics,
that's part of it. Sure.
Yeah, as long as you have 2 of 3 qualities. If you're easy to work with, you're fast, and you're good. As long as you're one of those 3 or 2 of those 3,
but dude, you don't even have to be good anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to be good. So maybe they just get along with their editor, or they give stuff in time.
Yeah.
They make their deadlines. That's half the battle.
Well, and some of, again, I don't want to get too far into this, but
yeah.
Obviously some of it is the thinking that certain kinds of writers that have never written comics before would bring in a whole new audience that has not worked out.
No, yeah.
But they either don't care or they haven't noticed or it's taken too long to notice. DC clearly is starting to get more of the message.
Yes.
Marvel is not. They're doing all the same crap they've done for a decade.
Yeah. And a lot of times, too, when you have writers who come in from a lot of times another medium, and a lot of times you see a lot of this with a lot of screenwriters, too, where you'll read a lot of the stories they write and be like, have you ever read a comic before?
Yeah.
You ever? It's yeah, I can tell you 5 stories that are like this that are way better than what you just put out, too.
Dan Schneider put in a Chile Super Chat, and I forgot to do my Super Chat spiel at the beginning, but I'll do that here in a second. When did you get back on Twitter? I just followed you. I had a stint for a month, maybe a year ago, where I was posting a lot on Twitter, and then, or X or whatever, and life got in the way, and I haven't done a lot of that, so I don't know when I'll log back in and actually post anything there, but I was having fun with it for a while, and I'll get, I don't do a lot of social media, so that was just kind of fresh and new and fun for me again, because I hadn't done it in a long time, and I was finding lots of, superhero movie stuff to post about, and I was building a little bit of a following, and then I was I'm spending an unhealthy amount of time on this,
right?
And I had other things that I needed to be doing. Yeah. So I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth with that in Discord, and things like that. Where if I'm on it too much, I'll just jump off and not be on. I'm very all or nothing. I'm either on it a lot or I'm not doing it at all.
Yeah.
And then some of that is just I'm streaming more, and we go 5 days a week now, and so it's hard to find the time. But anyway, so that's what that's about. As always, if you would like to pick the next book that we talk about next week, it needs to be something new or new-ish within the last few years. You can leave a super chat in a dollar amount, and whoever collectively has the most in super chat dollars tonight will get to pick the thing we talk about next time. We're doing Geiger tonight.
Yeah,
we're doing the first volume of that, and that's a little older. That's 2021, but there is a Geiger book on right now that I'm hearing nothing but good things about. Both, of course, Geoff Johns, and so he does a 6-issue miniseries with a cliffhanger that makes it clear that he's planning on doing more, but you can't tell just reading that whether he's going to do a second mini volume or if it becomes an ongoing. And it ended up doing well enough to be an ongoing. So they're 17 in now, I think. Of the new one, and so he's got his own imprint over at Image, and from what I've heard, that was originally supposed to be a DC imprint, and then for whatever reason that didn't work out, and once again, they ran off their big creators, and so he went over to Image, which seems kind of natural, and that's why, if you agree with me, it reads a lot like a Vertigo book.
I can see that.
It just seems like Vertigo over an Image to me.
You know what it actually reminded me of?
We'll actually review this
We'll
later.
review that later. We'll get to that.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, it actually reminded me, and I think it's just because of the Gary Frank art, of like some Marvel Max titles too.
Oh, okay.
Like my first thought was like the when they did the Squadron Supreme reboot over there, and I think that's just because it was Gary Frank.
I didn't have that thought, but that's a good point. Yeah, especially the faces.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he actually did that book or if it's just a similar art style too, but
I feel like he did something to Max, but it's been too long.
Yeah. But that was my first thought reading it too, and of course we'll go in depth later, but
yeah. Let's get back to what's going on tomorrow. But again, if you're so inclined and you want to leave super chats, we appreciate it. And you can ask us about anything related to comics that you want to. With that, and then at the end of the show, whoever's got the most will get to pick the next thing. Recent, miniseries or graphic novel that we talk about. We always or arc. We always just sample a book, so it can't be anything that we've already talked about. But anyway, what?
I will say that they're talking about Paul in the chat.
Yeah, I see that.
Yep. We'll just put that down. Walk away.
Yeah, people are always making fun of that. Anyway, let's move on. So we've got Absolute Green Lantern 6 tomorrow. That's the only Absolute book that we haven't talked about yet on this program. So feel free to pick that for next time, and then we will have finally gotten the whole pantheon of Absolute knocked out, at least the first volumes, and then eventually Austin and I will probably do more of that stuff on the Comic Vault.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to see, Chris, more of those get announced.
Yeah.
Snyder or somebody else recently said that they don't plan on. We've been speculating about this, that they don't plan on folding Absolute as long as it's making money.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the initial plan was with it. But remember, I predicted this that it's kind of saved them, and it seems to have in some ways kind of saved the whole industry, at least in the short term. Right. So they'd be crazy to shut it down, but I just hope that they still stick with the same kind of design philosophy and like story philosophy they've had with those when they do new books and when they continue them on.
Yeah.
There's always that worry about like buying your own press and
exactly. And I mean that's with any sort of thing that blows up so fast. It blows up as fast as it absolutely has too. You gotta make sure you don't get sucked up the momentum and start thinking like, we'll just do whatever. You have to make sure you're actually putting out something quality too. So,
well, you know what the most important thing is, I think?
What's that?
Maintaining pacing.
Yes.
Which is tough because the first... And they've all been paced somewhat differently, but particularly with Batman and Superman, maybe Wonder Woman to some degree too, they pack so much lore and character stuff that I've said this before, but it feels like those books wouldn't have necessarily had to go more than 20, 25 issues. They're getting so many like villains up front.
Yeah.
And like big mythology things that I'm like that I'm thinking you're packing so much in, it reads like like a year one on steroids, or not year one, like an Earth one on steroids.
Right.
And my worry is they're going to start pacing them too much like mainstream modern continuity stuff, where we're just sitting around and not getting anything done in an issue. Yeah. And they haven't had that problem yet.
And I think, like, at least this early on, too, I'm not sure if they really knew how far they were going, so they wanted to get as much out as they could, and luckily you had, like, some actual talent that could smooth things out to actually do it in, like, a really, like, decent pace, too. So again, too, pacing and just trying to make sure you don't rush and you don't slow. You don't rush, you don't drag. Listen to J.K. Simmons. We'll just get a symbol to throw at somebody's head too.
I would love to see him as that character tell modern writers how to write comics.
Exactly.
That would be wonderful. Okay, we've got what else coming out? Amazing 11 tomorrow. another book that is not doing the numbers that the Spider-Man book usually
exactly.
would. People don't seem to care. And have you heard about, this will be spoilers, but have you heard about the big revelation that they just did with the identity of Spider-Man? Do you know about this?
No, I'm not sure now.
Do you want me to tell you?
Please do, please do.
I mean, you and I are never going to read this book.
Exactly.
We're not going to actually read this book.
We're that far behind.
So there's been, and thanks to Austin for bringing this to my attention, there has been this talk that they're going to do like kind of two different Spider-Mans at once, and not Peter and Miles, but like, I mean, Miles is still there, but like a street level Spider-Man, and then a different Spider-Man that's off doing other things.
Captain Universe.
I don't even
He's
know
the hero.
what.
That's you.
And I just read the first issue of Black Cat. You remember I said I was going to buy that because I like the cover?
Yeah.
So I read that today, and there's this curious thing happening in it where Spider-Man is acting weird, and he's not returning Felicia's phone calls.
Yeah.
And she's irritated with him. And he shows up for 5 minutes on a roof and just stares at her and doesn't say anything and leaves. And she's like, why is he giving me the cold shoulder? And then immediately after I read that, I got a message from Austin where he goes, you'll never believe the big reveal they just did at Amazing, which is that apparently Norman Osborn has been going around masquerading as Spider-Man. And so the reason I guess that they're going to have two different Spider-Mans is because there's literally two different Spider-Mans.
Right.
Peter Parker is actually being Spider-Man somewhere else. I don't know what's going on, like where he is. And then they've got Norman Osborn doing the street level stuff and not actually taking very many criminals to justice, apparently. So I don't know what his goal is and what he's after, because he seems to just be there.
Yeah.
Not doing or saying anything. But the only panels I saw with him were in that issue.
Right.
So I don't know what they're doing in Amazing. I just saw the last panel of an issue where they revealed he's doing the stereotypical rich man Norman Osborn thing of like drinking whiskey or something in front of his fireplace.
Yeah.
In a Spider-Man outfit. Oh my God, it's Norman Osborn. And I'm like, Marvel has been so brain dead and so has had such a dearth for ideas that it seems like all they have are these goofy character reveals. Like, I've been complaining a lot about they just mash two things that don't go together to try to look fresh and original.
Yeah.
They do three things. They do that. They have characters just sitting around complaining about their relationships.
Yeah.
Or they go, you think this is this guy, but it's actually this person.
Yeah, and like especially with like Venom 2, where they set up like a mystery, and then it's like, hey, you know these three people that it could have been? No, it wasn't that. Like,
no.
Okay, that's fine.
Of course, we had we do that with Mary Jane, and then we go, let's make Eddie Brock Carnage.
Why not?
Well, I'll tell you why not.
I'll tell you why not. Well,
because that's the last character on it, and I don't care what their excuse is. They probably, maybe they didn't, maybe they just did it, but maybe they have some kind of stupid loophole.
Right.
I don't care. You know why you can't do that? Because those are the last two entities that are remotely compatible.
Yeah.
The Carnage entity doesn't hate anybody more than Eddie Brock.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even Peter Parker.
Yeah. And I will say with Norman Osborn as Spider-Man, hey, remember Superior Spider-Man? Remember when Doc Ock was Spider-Man?
You're right.
What if we did something else like that?
We did this a decade ago.
We did. I mean, I know we've...
What is that book going to be called? Filthy Rich Spider-Man?
Filthy Rich Spider... You know what? I would read that, too. Technically, that's what Superior was towards the end, too.
Yeah, Peter Parker's been that anyway.
He wakes up, he's like, I'm a billionaire.
Filthy Rich
now?
Spider-Man,
Wow.
whiskey-drinking Spider-Man.
I would read that, too.
Fireside Chat Spider-Man.
You know what? These are all solid pitches. These are all way better pitches than Norman Osborn.
And none of them sound any stupider than Superior did. That was such a dumb title. He doesn't seem as dumb now because we're all used to it. We're married to it.
It's been a video game too.
Yeah, of course it was. We've had Superior other crap now. I think there was like a Superior Iron Man or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's when he was. Oh yeah, that's when he was evil. That's when. That's when he made like the. He created like the virus and sold people the cure. It's like we've got actual CEO Tony Stark now.
When was the last time 616 did anything substantial that wasn't just this kind of surface level
Probably
BS, man. Like,
I mean, probably Immortal Hulk too. If we're really,
Yeah.
I mean, that's if I had to pick one where it's something that was.
it is telling when I got so much mail about you've gotta or so many comments about like you've gotta talk about Immortal Hulk, and we reviewed the first finally at some point the first arc. I don't remember much about it. I remember liking it a lot. Like I get why people were obsessed with that, but I think the reason that people wanted me to talk about so bad was everybody was starved for decent mainstream Marvel,
Right.
and that was like the only thing going on. And then the same thing happened before that with Donny Cates on Venom.
Yeah.
You only ever had one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, gone are the days of just one of the big two are good at once. They can't both be good.
Right.
We're at a point now where that is still true.
Yeah.
And then the one that sucks more than the other one can't have more than one good book at a time. And Marvel doesn't even have that right now.
You know,
like, tell me what the one critically acclaimed, like wonderful, can't put it down, ongoing is at Marvel right now.
I mean, then we get into the conversation about the Ultimates too, the new Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, but like. That's what I'm saying. You have to go to that. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm talking about 616.
You know, I mean, it's funny too.
And not everybody likes that book as much as we did.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
I've been hearing people real down on Ultimates.
Right.
And I didn't like. I read the next couple issues, and I thought it fell off a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it might turn back around. I haven't gone back to it,
Right.
and I plan to. But like, I was hearing all this great stuff about Ultimate Spider-Man. I read the first issue. I was really impressed with it. I'm hearing now a lot of and again.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading it,
Right.
this is not horse's mouth at all. But this is just hearsay.
Yeah.
But they're 20 issues in, and it sounds like it's meandering.
I can see that too. I mean, again, we were talking about the one thing that Absolute needs to avoid.
I don't know if I want to read a Hickman that reads like Bendis. Like, that's weird.
That would just not compute. That'd be like, no, what? It's like there's another universe. What? Yeah, another universe. What? And even just going back to what we were saying about Batman, I remember when Immortal Hulk was coming out, they said the one measure of its success, the one big thing that you knew this was something special, was that it outsold Batman. That was the one thing I remember reading about the sales numbers. Like, yeah, it's a Hulk book that's outselling Batman. Okay. And now Batman's not even in that top 10 anymore.
Tyler, my understanding is the only good Marvel books are Thor, Miles Morales, and Fantastic Four. And I might check in on one or more of those, but I haven't heard great things about those books. Iron Man just had a pretty good run, and I think a few of the X books are decent. All the X stuff sounds terrible to me. But
some of the X books...
Again, that's not fair. I've not tried it. But we have to keep in mind, I don't want to drop $5 on mediocre.
Yes. That's absolutely true, especially when, look, prices are going up too. They're $5. They did not draw the line at $2.99.
So like, I might like dabble in some stuff in digital here and there, but I'm gonna read it months after it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, especially now that we have unlimited DC Universe Infinite. I mean, it's easier than ever to just like dip into a book and dip out without having to spend.
And to be fair, I don't think people are talking about that enough.
Yes.
Let's get back to what's happening tomorrow.
Right, yeah. I will say that I've read some of Immortal Thor too, and like the one that was the Roxxon Presents Thor, it's like, all right, that is self-referential in the best way, because it was like Roxxon's production, like propaganda of what Thor is actually, because like his name was like Chad Hammer, he had like a buzz cut. So it just, again, your mileage may vary.
I was going to say, that sounds awful.
That was awful in the best way.
But I feel like that's all Marvel does, is self-referential.
Yeah, and I guess...
Like, even if it's clever, I'm so over it, though.
Right. I mean, that's fair. And
I don't mean to be contrary. I can't get excited. I want to go back to brass tacks and just tell some cool, exciting, badass superhero stories again.
Right.
Marvel has not been interested in that in years.
I will say, because they mentioned Fantastic Four too, how at least the early stuff of Ryan North's run, you had that big storyline about the town that disappeared and was stuck in like the time loop, which I remember, I think I even said this like a couple shows ago, how I was like, this is like an Outer Limits episode. This is at least like a high concept sci-fi story that...
Well, that's good.
Yeah, at least that's something.
it's sad that the standards are so low that we can be excited about. Oh, look, high concept in a Marvel comic book.
In a Fantastic Four book? What do you know?
Come on now. Anyway, moving right along. Uncanny 20 is tomorrow. Who's writing Uncanny right now? Probably somebody I've never heard of. Oh, it's Gail Simone. I knew about that.
Yeah.
I knew she was doing that. Okay. Well, somebody tell me if any of this X-Men stuff is actually worth looking at. It does not look very cool to me. Turtles 11 is tomorrow. Like I keep mentioning, that's a cool cover.
Yeah.
Like I keep mentioning, Jason Aaron's only here for the next couple of issues, and then I have no idea who's taking this book over. If they're going to start back to number 1, or what exactly is going to happen. Turtles is kind of all over the place right now.
Yeah.
But Shredder number 1 just came out last week. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Batgirl 11 is tomorrow. I have been loving these covers, and the couple issues I've read of this are pretty decent. I like it fine.
Yeah.
Wolverine 13, Avengers 30. A lot of Marvel tomorrow. A lot of Marvel nobody's reading coming out tomorrow. Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu 12. I would be shocked if that wasn't the last issue of that book. There's no way that's selling well enough to go past 12.
I was surprised there's a Moon Knight book out too. I heard that.
There's Mary Jane as Venom, folks. And again, I've not tried this, but I don't want to. Like, it just doesn't.
I started like the first couple issues. At least I was somewhat invested in the mystery, and then it wasn't like a fair
then you
play.
found out what it was.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, fair play mysteries too, you know.
Yeah, this is not going back. Okay, I didn't realize this was coming out tomorrow. This is also my pull, and I've been kind of excited about it. Spider-Man 94 number 1 comes out tomorrow also.
Nice.
So I get this and Fractions Batman the same day.
Nice.
That's very exciting.
Actually got DeMatteis there too.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
No, it's exciting.
Yeah.
There's some stuff they're doing with that isn't what I would do with an extension of that show. Because it's supposed to have, what's his face? Sorry, it's been a while since I thought about this. The villain with all the spider totems.
Oh, Moreland. Yeah.
I think he's supposed to be in it, and I hate that character, so that's not real exciting to me. But and then there's the of course always the kind of double-sided argument about whether when you're extending that stuff you should go to things that were made up after it or not. And so I'll reserve judgment till I read it.
I even like Batman 66 brought in like Arkham and Harley Quinn and had like Luchador Bane. They made Santo.
And I've talked about that. That's kind of like one big exception with that.
Yeah.
But like so it can work, but that was also kind of there from the start of that.
Right.
And this looks like it's going to do the same thing. But the difference is this is supposed to be like finally getting to Mary Jane and doing like a last episode of that.
Yeah.
And Batman 66 was just an extension of that, so it's a little different.
Right.
What else? Adventures of Superman: The Book of L, number 1.
Don't know
who's doing this. Philip Kennedy Johnson. Okay. I have not heard about this, but we're doing a lot of Superman right now.
Yeah.
And the big KO event is supposed to be very Superman centered, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Because those events don't tend to be big Superman things.
Well,
so
ever since like 52,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, ever since like 52, there's been kind of a push for like the sort of the B-list of the second-tier characters to get their time to shine in a lot of DC events.
Well, and a lot of this, of course, is we just had a big Superman movie.
Yes, exactly.
So, yes, there's a synergy thing with it, but it does seem like they've been bringing on creators that are actually excited to write Superman.
Yeah.
And there's been a nice mix of cool creative ideas with it, I think.
Right.
Like, even that first issue of Dan Slott's new book,
Yeah.
I liked it well enough. Not enough to keep buying it. I'll read it later in digital, but like it was fine. Like I didn't hate it.
There's a lot of creators out there who, even if they aren't, I mean,
that Black Label Kryptonite book is super cool.
I still need to read that too.
And then of course I'm loving Crypto.
Yeah.
And let's see what this is about. As the Super Family settles into a well-earned time of peace, a powerful ally turned enemy invades Earth with an army at his back and a god aspect of Olgrun, mad god of the first world. When even the super family lacks the power to stop him, Superman is sent against his will to a place he's never been, where he'll find allies he could never have expected, including the events of Future State. Oh, okay. Why does nobody cares about Future State though? like why does this have anything to do with that? It seems a little late, right?
Did
okay?
Yeah, I mean, the writer, they say, worked on Future State, right? Is this
Yeah.
just like, no, I've had great ideas, so seriously,
So it sounds like they're finally bringing him back to finish up a run no one cared about.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm gonna pass on that then.
Future State just sort of came and went, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that happened.
I'm gonna pass on that, folks. Then we've got Justice League versus Kong 2 number 4 tomorrow. Folks reading that. Gwenpool 5, that book sounds dreadful. I was listening to something about that today. Remember, I was really confused about what the hell was even going on with that book.
Right.
And like they've actually resurrected Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, that's...
But then as an assassin, like there's not one person on the planet that wants that. And then but not replacing Gwenpool. Apparently she's still around and is in the book, and I'm shocked they didn't call it Gwenpools, because they love doing that.
You know what? That would have been something.
We're all about plurals at the moment.
You know what that sounds like too? Because when Gwenpool was first introduced, everybody thought that's what she was anyway. Like, oh, it's Gwen Stacy at Deadpool. Like, no, it's a different character. It just sounds like it's like calling Captain Marvel Shazam. It's like, this is what everybody thinks it is anyway. Let's just roll with it.
Well, yeah, except like nobody's cared about Gwenpool for a long time. There's no reason to bring that back. Like that kind of came and went and did its thing, and it was a pretty long running title.
Right.
I just don't know who was asking for it. I know who was asking for it through actual Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange. Considering the kind of like lowbrow humor Marvel's had lately. I don't know if I should say lowbrow, but just kind of, I don't know, sophomoric.
Yeah.
Considering the kind of humor that they've had lately, what they should have done, and I'm not saying I would have bought this book.
Yeah.
But they should have had like 3 names on the book.
Right.
They should have found a way to work in Gwenpool, Spider-Gwen, and Ghost Spider, like, all in the title.
Right.
With colons. It should have been like Gwen Stacy, Gwenpool,
Rise of the Ghost Spider or something like
that.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what it should have been.
Gwenpool, yeah.
There should have been so many titles, there's not any room for art on the cover.
Yes. You see, that would have been great. That would have just have a book that's just like... Oh, man, let's hate to see us coming.
Look, it still would have sucked, but it would have sucked better.
At least you gotta just lean into it. You gotta lean into the confusion. Be like, what's this book actually about? Wait, so she is Gwen Stacy? Who cares? We're going with it.
We're so hard on Marvel tonight.
I know,
but somebody give me a reason not to be. That's... I don't know. Like, I bought a Marvel book a couple weeks ago. I'll tell you later if it was worth it.
I gave them my blood. I gave them my pound of flesh.
Look, like, if a book looks cool, I'll try. I don't trust them.
Yeah.
I shouldn't keep jumping into the crocodile pit, but like, I want it to be good.
I mean, I was trying to think about like the last Marvel book I was even, because I've dipped in and out of the X-Men, and again, like, a lot of it since at least the mainline X titles have been fine, but like ever since. Going from Krakoa, which was such like a departure, and like even though there were peaks and valleys, it was at least interesting, to like status quo. It's like, yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what's happening. That's
okay for a while, but I feel like if you stick with the philosophy that the X-Men came to with Krakoa for too long, it starts to read like real cynical and unheroic at some point.
Yeah, and
like I feel like they gotta come back from that.
They gotta come back from that, but I think if they had just done it like a little bit more, smoothed it out a little bit, like more naturalistic, and at least tried to, because it just seems like such a hard shift back to the status quo. And there's a lot of the X books that just haven't really seemed interesting because, again, for like Krakoa, for all its faults, it was interesting. And like there's been some stuff, like a lot of the Magic stuff, I mean, it's been good. I mean, it's been okay, but it hasn't been like that groundbreaking. I mean, the stuff I've enjoyed just hasn't been like that. Again, we're talking about like you don't want to
The
spend
best we can hope for right now is run of the mill, mediocre,
right?
And it feels like their best books still don't get anything done in an issue.
Yeah, and that's like the one thing too. When you had, it just seems like when you do try and do something creative, when you try to do something that sort of steps out of the box, I mean, it doesn't land, or it just doesn't get that follow through just from the company. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like Marvel's just trying to play it safe, and Marvel's just trying to like circle its own wagons too, and you're not seeing a lot of like a push through that.
Okay, so I know I'm sounding really contrary tonight.
Yeah.
I like I'm sounding like I'm just fighting you on everything.
No, you're good,
Chris. I don't mean to do that.
You're good. No,
but can I tell you why you're wrong?
Okay, please do.
Okay, because like total all respect.
Yes.
I get where you're coming from.
Right.
If Marvel really wanted to play it safe, they would just have punching on every page.
That is true.
There's no
that
punching in their comic.
Touche.
Maybe somebody would buy the damn things if there was violence.
You know what? You are not wrong.
I'm just trying to call a spade, man.
Yeah.
Sebastian Travis, Marvel deserves all the crap being thrown at it. Sometimes I just treat them like art books, except still more pricey at the per page ratio. I mean, same here. Like, I will still occasionally buy an issue just because the cover is cool.
Yes.
Like, you saw me a few weeks ago go through some Venoms I don't intend to ever read. Or I might flip through them and see if there's anything interesting in them.
Yeah.
But just at a conceptual level, I haven't...
Right.
I haven't liked any of the ideas I've been hearing with Marvel. And now you could say, okay, but Cap, you hated everything you were hearing about Absolute Batman, and now you love that book. That is a horse of a different color, man.
Yes.
That's coming from a different spirit.
So much of like Absolute Batman, again, when you take the individual pieces, it is greater than the sum of its parts too.
And also, remember, that thing has been selling ridiculous. Like that first printing sold 400,000 copies.
Right.
You don't see anything else like that happening.
No,
And if some of these bad ideas, because I always say you can make anything work, you just have to make it work.
Yes.
If Mary Jane Venom was a dumb idea executed really well, people would be buying it.
Yes.
And they're not.
Yeah. And like
now, there have been outlier books, obviously. I don't even have to explain this, but like there have been weird outlier things that nobody else cares about but me. And I'm like, this is great. Why isn't anybody buying this? But Venom is one of the like top 3 most popular things at Marvel, and they've been shooting it in the foot ever since Kate's left.
Yes,
and the stuff that I like that nobody cares about is like your Marvel Angela or your Resurrection Man.
Yeah.
Not frigging Venom.
Yeah, I know.
Or Carnage.
Yeah.
Or Spider-Man. Right?
It's like, again, we're talking about getting like good talent on the books and just having them go for it. And it's like, please just do that. Please, just have a good book. Please, just try to.
I just don't think it's that hard. I'm not even asking for like brilliant, deep philosophical.
Right.
At the moment, I'm telling you, dude. Call me superficial. I would just take punching.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just take really like when he says art book.
Yes.
Yeah, make him that, dude. Do what. You know what would really shake things up right now?
What's that?
I'm going to pitch the dumbest idea.
All right.
That at the moment, they should do something crazy like this.
Right.
So, in their way, they're playing it safe.
Yes.
I get where you're coming from when you say that.
Yeah.
You know what they should do?
What's that?
They should do a month of nothing but silent books.
Yes.
They should do a month of
Enough said 2.0.
Action, but everything.
Everything, yes.
Action-driven, so not like... So not a month of just crazy variant covers.
Yeah.
They'll still do their variants, but a month of silent books.
Yeah.
In fact, if I was doing it, you know what I would do with it? I would have all the covers have a dialogue balloon, and then there's no talking inside.
Yes.
Like all the covers would have an exchange or a one-liner, and then you open the book and it's all really great action.
And you know what? You don't see enough word balloons on
covers
covers anymore. Exactly.
That's what it should be.
Yeah. It's...
If I pitched this 10 years ago, you'd think I was crazy. If they did it right now, it would sell because it's different.
It really is. I know.
It would be a freaking comic book.
Yes. Please.
Anyway, Dan Snyder, $2 super chat. Mary Jane Venom is an R-word idea done R-wordly. I should put my money where my mouth is. I mean, I don't actually want to pay for these books, but I should, in digital... probably check in and read some of the stuff. Some of the stuff that I most think sounds cringy and dumb. Just so that I can come back and tell you if it's as bad as I'm thinking, as it looks like it is. Because it maybe isn't fair for me to go, this is stupid, this is friggin' really stupid. But also, I'm just kind of tired of getting kicked in the teeth. Because every time I try something at Marvel, it's not almost every time. It's been kind of awful.
I mean, the one thing with like Marvel too, again, with I know we were saying too with the app, it's easier to go back and dip in and out of stuff too. That's fairly recent, but also too, if I'm looking at Marvel Unlimited, I'm just gonna go back to like stuff I liked. It's like that's the.
What's the thing is, like, you're not paying per issue, but you're still paying your like $12 a month to read crap.
Exactly. You're paying with your soul. That's what you're paying with.
Resurrection Man Quantum Karma #6 comes out tomorrow. That book's been just spectacular. I've talked about it a little bit in the past. And I thought it was going to end after 4 or 5, but I don't know how many issues this is. Maybe 6 is the end. Maybe it's 12.
Right.
I don't know. There have been a lot of Black Label 12-issue books, so maybe it's that. But I've got a big day tomorrow, apparently.
I guess
and
so,
and last week was also a huge week for me.
I still need to read that just because, like, I know you've been raving about it too. So
I think you'd love it.
Yeah.
Sonic 81 is tomorrow. That's another book that's on my pull list. G.I. Joe 320. Did they go back to legacy numbers?
I think they went back to legacy numbers because if I remember right, Larry Hama's back on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Phantom Road is a thing I've not heard of.
It's Jeff
Chris.
Lemire. It's
So that's Jeff Lemire's creator-owned thing right now.
Jeff Lemire, I mean, Jordan Belair is doing colors, and, so...
I may have read this before. I'm not sure. I keep going to these creator-owned things and reading the synopsis of the first issue. I may have done this already, but I don't remember it. Dom is a long-haul truck driver attempting... Oh, yeah, I have read this. Say, ahead of his tragic past, when he... I don't mean I've read the book. I mean, I've read
You've read the synopsis. Like, I've read this, just the synopsis I've read.
Yeah, a quarry of strange and impossible monsters. Yeah, that sounds cool. That's one of those things that sounds neat, but not my thing, so I don't know if I would read that. But it did sound like a thing that people should check out, probably. And I love Lemire. I finished his Robin and Batman book today. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's nice to see him doing something big too again. Rockefellers for Image. I don't really know what that is.
It looks pretty cool just from the cover.
Everything Dead and Dying. This looks like a brand new book from Image. Well, we keep clicking on #1s and then it turns out they're reprints or something. But I think this is an actual, honest to God,
an actual new book.
So you know what's really weird about this?
What's that?
That looks like a Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah.
Like, it's a comic book with a cover that looks like a book cover.
Right.
Everything Dead and Dying follows Jack Chandler, the sole survivor of the zombie apocalypse, hunkered down. Can Image do anything but zombie apocalypse? In his rural farming community, rather than eliminate them, Jack has chosen to continue living alongside the undead. Ooh, that's the twist, Chris. Including the husband and adopted father he fought so hard to have. But when his town is discovered by outsiders, Jack suddenly becomes the one thing standing in the way of those who hope to kill his family for good. Chris, would that be one you'd try?
You know what? Maybe. Because here's the thing: have you ever watched that show In the Flesh, the BBC show? It's a zombie show, but it's after they found the cure for the zombie virus. So you've got like all these guys who are on like medication regimens, who are like, I can't eat actual food anymore.
Oh, wow.
Because I died like 6 months ago. Sorry I killed your neighbors. I was just rabid. I really enjoyed that
fun.
too. So it's a concept. I mean, the idea of like living alongside the undead, it's something that can and has worked at least.
Yeah, and like Walking Dead would play around with it,
Yeah.
but it always treated it like people that would do that are in denial and out of their minds.
Yeah.
And they had to be taught the error of their ways, or they would be
Right.
killed by the zombies
Yeah.
that they were like trying against all rationality to keep treating like human beings.
Yeah.
Oh, and Captain Planet is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got like 6 books tomorrow. It's nuts.
I know we talked about like the release schedule of Captain Planet, but it still is like, oh
they're
wow,
doing
there's
it.
already a new book out.
They're doing a giant-sized
Oh wow.
version of the new Fraction Batman. I haven't been keeping up with any Star Trek, and I keep complaining about like New Trek
New
and
Trek.
the IDW stuff having to keep inserting New Trek stuff in.
Right.
But I'm a little curious about this. So they're doing a Voyager Homecoming book, and who's working on this? So that's weird. It's a writer I'm not familiar with, but there is I forget her. It's Kristen Beyer. Did a 2-part novel series post the end of Voyager called Homecoming.
Yeah.
And I wondered if this wasn't related to that, but it doesn't
Right.
seem like it is. So it looks like, and this is for the 30th anniversary of Voyager this year.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So it looks like this is doing something similar to that series, but a different thing. Picking up where the series finale left off, Voyager has just returned to Earth. Everyone is looking forward to reuniting with friends and family, yada yada. Voyager goes back to the breach. This is being very vague about what the actual story is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll actually buy that, but I might check it out later on digitally somehow, because that it doesn't sound like exactly what Kristen Beyer did.
Right.
So if memory serves, her novel was like after the crew had kind of settled in,
Yeah.
and then they did this weird like Borg virus thing. But I kind of like the idea of doing an aftermath thing where it's immediately after the ship gets back.
Yeah,
Because the finale of Voyager is, well, it's lame for lots of reasons, but one of them, I loved Endgame when it came out. I don't know what I was smoking. It's not very good.
Right.
And Admiral Janeway is just a horrible human being. Let's go back in time and change. I make fun of this in our movie.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time and change everything just because a couple of my friends died.
Right.
But let's not even try to go back far enough to save all the other people I got killed in the Delta Quadrant. What is she doing?
Look, it's called prioritizing. It's
Yeah, she only cares about Chakotay and Seven of Nine because they're characters we know and care about.
exactly.
But it's lame because they get back, and at the beginning of the episode we see like.
Is it like a flash forward too, where you see like
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's a flash forward, and we don't see like immediately what happens when Voyager gets back, but they show on like a hologram thing, the ship coming back with fireworks and everything.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the end of the episode, because we saw that already, it just shows up back on Earth. A few ships show up, and then that's it. We're the credits. That's all you get. So. You could do a good comic series that's the stuff they should have shown you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right at the end there. But anyway, I don't know. I might check that out, especially if the art's any good.
Looks like the writers worked on like a number of worked on like the Fallout TTRPG and Monster High stuff like that too. So
Okay.
I mean, look, I've heard good things about the Fallout TTRPG. We're going to be talking about post-apocalyptic stuff.
That doesn't get me excited or anything, but I don't know. I just keep hearing about people that have credits that have nothing to do with comic books.
That's fair.
Chris.
I don't know. I don't want to say like TTRPG writer is at least in the same wheelhouse as.
No, I mean it's sort of related, but you still have to work your way into this. I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and switch gears. I'm going to go ahead and bring Austin in if he's around and let him talk about the stuff that he's gotten over the last couple of weeks before I do mine. Just because we're late enough. I don't know how late he wants to stay. We're already at an hour,
right?
So we'll go ahead and start with his stuff if he wants to come in. So let me pull up my Discord, and I'll just waiting to hear from Austin, see if he's cool with us going in and calling him. He says he'll be ready in a minute. Okay, well, while we're waiting for him then, I'll go ahead and go through a few older books that I bought before I get to my new stuff, Chris. Bought a bunch of back issues like I tend to do. And I got a couple of classic Silver Age things.
Oh, nice.
Chris, would you like to see them?
I would love to.
One of these I probably showed you already.
Yeah.
Because I bought it the day of our movie premiere.
Yeah.
But this is now the oldest X-Men issue I own. Here is X-Men 23 in a decently high grade. This looks like probably, honestly, a very fine. I cracked this open. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
And the colors inside are pretty good. But I don't know. I thought that was a cool cover.
Yeah.
And I paid $35 for that one, so I felt pretty good about that.
Definitely, yeah. That's
but I got that at Nostalgia, and I had my eye on their Silver Age X-Men's for a while. That's the one I ended up picking. They had a 25 that was a little pricier because I don't know if that's a key or if it's just a bigger deal cover to people.
Right.
But I didn't feel like spending quite that much that day, so I ended up getting this instead. But this is also earlier than that, and so I think the earliest issue I have before this is like 58. I think it's like a Havoc cover.
Oh, wow. Oh, is it like the big iconic one where it's like Havoc and they're all like in his chest too?
I don't remember. I know it's like Havoc doing a big blast just like out of the page.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else too. Because there's the one where you just see like an outline of Havoc and then all the X-Men like, oh no, it's Havoc.
I didn't mention Absolute Superman, but that comes out tomorrow also. 11, I think.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then a couple days ago, with some extra birthday money I had, I went to a store in Topeka, and I picked up Batman 213, which is, and also in decent shape.
Yeah.
This is a retelling of a bunch of origins,
wow.
including Robin, Red Hood, Clayface, and Alfred. It's the origin of Batman's butler.
The origin of Batman's butler,
Chris?
yes.
Yes.
Is that when he's still Alfred Beagle and he's like 800 pounds?
Yeah, actually it is. So, let's see, Red Hood, Clayface. I guess it's just those four. For Origins, it says 5 classic tales, and there's some other story.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides that, I haven't gotten into this and tried to read it yet. But anyway, that was this is from 68, 69, and I paid $25 for that.
Nice.
So I'm excited to get to go back and get more Silver Age. I've been dabbling in that again a little bit here and there since I got back into New again.
Right.
It's nice to be gap filling again.
Yeah.
And then I got... Did I mention this last time? I think I did, actually, that I got the adaptation of the Supergirl movie.
You did,
I think I did show this already. I still have this sitting on my desk because I want to have that out when we do the rewind commentary on that next week.
Right.
And then I got a random... here's Austin. We'll bring him in a second. I got a random cover of Spider-Gwen the Ghost Spider. Speaking of all the
Spider-Gwen the Ghost Spider.
Gwen Stacy, Gwenpool.
I love
Spider-Gwen the Ghost Spider.
I love the fact that they call the character Spider-Gwen because Gwen Stacy is Spider-Girl. And then they're like, hey, we probably can't have her, we probably need to call her something else. Because she's not going to be out calling herself Spider-Gwen. It's like, hi, it's me. Spider's secret identity, please.
No, Dan Schneider, I think that's too early for Neil Adams on X-Men. I think. I'm not sure who drew those covers, though.
Yeah. Maybe the cover I'm thinking might be Neil Adams. I'm not...
I meant the one I had. Maybe he was talking. Yeah, maybe that's what he was talking about. I'm not sure.
We're throwing out a lot right now.
Yeah, exactly. The only reason I bought this is because I had Selena with me, one of my daughters, and when I bring her to the comic shop, I always let her pick out one or two, and she loves Ghost Spider. Yeah. So she asked me to get this, so I just got it because the cover was cool and she wanted it, and we'll go ahead and bring Austin in and let him talk about his stuff. Here we go. Oh, and bear with me because I'll need to change my audio settings here too. Yeah. Because this was different from last time we talked. Austin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Hello,
how's
sir.
It going?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, man. Why don't you tell us about what you picked up last time? I guess we're not really going to have a visual component to this unless you can, like, share a screen and show covers or something.
I guess I can pull it up like this and see how well you guys can see it. So that's my first. Not especially.
That ends up just being me because I'm wearing a white shirt.
Look, the first issue I got is Captain
Captain
Logan.
Logan. Captain Logan #1. That's amazing.
No, but it's great because I can
What
see
a
the
rough
title,
find.
so it looks like Army of Darkness starring Captain Logan.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember
we've
when
always
you fought
wanted
Ash?
to fight zombies.
I tell you what, we'll tag team and I'll just pull up the covers on my end while you're talking. Because Austin's
Okay.
buying digital, so he doesn't have a physical object to show us.
Yeah, I can just pretend.
I mean, look.
I can hold up my phone, but you can't see anything.
I was gonna say the book we read today, Geiger. Like I read that, I had to go back into Comixology too to read that. So I mean, that was scary. I cried a little, just a little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 'cause it's not even its own app anymore. It got
No.
just folded into Kindle.
It's like
And it's been that way for years, I think.
yeah, it's like Kindle, Amazon's Comixology for Amazon Kindle.
Yeah. Yeah, because it
Starring
happened like
Winston
right
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
It happened like right after I got into digital, where it was like, oh, this app is ending, and I'm like, uh-oh, did I get into this at the wrong time? And then it's been fine on Kindle, so I can't complain. But yeah, my first issue here, as you said, it's Red Sonja versus the Army of Darkness, issue
cool.
5. Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of those covers, but the art looks a lot better in the book. But that's been really fun so far. I was like pretty mixed on Red Sonja versus, or not versus, but the Mars Attacks Red Sonja books.
Oh, that's
Literally reading.
They looked really cool.
Well, the first one was a lot better, and then the second one, I literally got to the end of the last issue. I'm like, okay, I feel like I hope the story's about to start because like this is like the 4th issue. Like I don't know how many more issues are left, and then it ended. I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it.
Hey, we've got a story, but you know what this story doesn't need? Inciting incident. Just don't need that. Just inefficient.
Yeah. The whole book, I'm like kind of waiting for it to start, and it never did. But Red Sonja versus Army of Darkness is really fun. Her and Ash have like a really good dynamic. I think it was issue 3 or 4. I think it was 3. They fight a deadite unicorn, and that was really cool.
Sold.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like
Take
it's just
note,
it's
Marvel. All you need
They
is
know what
crazy
you're there
crap
for.
like that if
Yeah.
you want to actually sell comics.
Just put a zombie unicorn. I'm on board.
Yeah, exactly. They know what you're there for. They're like, okay, you want to see Red Sonja and Ash fight deadites? There you go.
But it's a Tim Seeley book. Is it a Tim Seeley book?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Tim Seeley.
Yeah, I think a few books I have. No, I was just gonna say I think a few books I'm reading right now are by him because I think he's doing the new IDW Godzilla.
Yeah. Tim Seeley's a writer who also kind of knows exactly what his readers want to read. Like, I've really, at least that's in my experience too. Like, I really like Hack Slash. He did like some Vampire the Masquerade books, which, again, I'm just like a giant dice nerd, so that was my jam. So,
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't
Yeah,
bother you when the
fun.
only credits to a new writer's name are tabletop RPG
Yeah.
books. And I'm going, there's all these talented people that have written comic books that would like to write comic books, Chris.
I mean, that's fair. Look, you're not wrong, but
Textbooks are like a type of comic.
What else did you pick up, Austin?
I got Crypto number. We're on 3.
Yeah.
I'm behind on my August issues, so it's like I'm just going off of the ones before it.
Have you read it yet?
But I've not read Crypto
you
yet.
should
But
have.
the
You know
first
why?
2 issues are
Because it
great.
would take you 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, they do read really fast.
It's Crypto saving a girl in the woods who's freezing to death. There's very little dialogue in the whole thing. It's just like that. I was going to talk about this later, but I guess I'll talk about it now. But it's they're just surviving in the woods. It reads real fast. Yeah. Like, it's good. It's a real quick read.
Sounds cool. Yeah. Yeah, well, that was a book that I was like, oh, that's cute. They made like a little kid's crypto book for when the Superman movie came out. And then I read it and I'm like, oh, no, this is like an actual comic. This is great.
Then you got the first issue and went, that's curious that it says 13 plus.
It's about Lex just being mean to a dog.
Well,
exactly.
The second issue. Well, one thing you really got to give North credit for with that book is he's actually writing comic books.
Yeah.
Like, each issue has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and issue 2 went away from this. I don't know what 3 is like. But the first issue, I think, should win an award for lettering, because that does this really cool thing where all the lettering is faded except for words that, like, a dog would know.
That's true.
That's brilliant. Like, that is such a cool way of, like, lettering your book based on what your main character is.
Have you read the Hawkeye, the Pizza's My Business book issue?
No. I actually haven't read any solo Hawkeye. I've read, stuff that he pops up in, but...
Who wrote it? A tabletop gaming writer?
This guy named Matt Fraction. Maybe you've heard of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I mean...
Yeah, he wrote a new tabletop book called Batman Issue 1.
You know what? That's it. D&D, sorry. I've got this new game now. You release a TTRPG called Batman #1. That's it. My life's over.
His RPG sex criminals. Be careful where you bring that one.
I would play that too.
Didn't Fraction do that Iron Man RPG?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Anyway, did you have a point?
Oh, I was just saying too that... I was just going to say, too, that was another book that really played around differently than Crypto did, but that had word bubbles based on what words a dog might know.
Yeah.
And a lot of the dialogue was actually kind of obscured or scribbled. But another thing that they did that was also kind of interesting is they played around with scents and how Crypto would smell something, and the way they'd illustrate that on the page is with, like, little infographics where they'd have, like, a guy's face, and then, like, it would branch off and you'd see, like, a coffee cup or, like, a piece of pizza. So I think in, like, just in, like, last 10 years or so, you're seeing, like, a kind of a refocus on lettering, which is something that almost gets forgotten.
Yeah,
and
that's a really good point.
How
absolutely,
and it's one of many good visual devices to get us in the character's head more.
Yeah.
Lettering is such a thankless job. Like, it's one of those things where if you're doing it right most of the time, you're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
This is neither here nor there, but I'll mention this real quick. Dynamite's Powerpuff Girls is doing a cool thing that I feel like Powerpuff Girls should have always done, which is the girls' word balloons are always in their color. So Bubbles always has blue, and Blossom always has red. They should have always done that.
That's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, it is neat.
I forget what book it was that had characters speak in different languages, and each language was like a different color.
Oh, that's good.
Which was especially since really they got rid of little carrot things too. They usually see.
Austin, what else did you pick up, man?
I got Mothra, Queen of the Monsters, #5, which is a book I love to look at and groan to read most of the time.
Oh, why is that?
The art is absolutely beautiful. I love how this book looks. It does a lot of, like, really grand images of Mothra, and the writing tends to be a lot of that, like, very cringy, like, modern humor. There's a lot of, like, the characters being like, oh my god, like, Mothra is so adorable. Like, it's like that kind of a thing, and I'm like, ugh. But
take note,
it looks good.
Of what not to do.
You mean the MCU dialogue?
Yeah, pretty much.
If you guys are tired of me yelling all the time, like, convince Marvel to have better comics, because it's not going to stop until that happens.
Yeah, and this is the last issue of this because this is a miniseries. The last issue, issue 4, it was like entirely training montage, which was kind of fun, but like still had some of that just kind of awkward dialogue, but a lot of really cool like monster visual stuff. So I was happy about that.
I really like that cover too.
Dan Schneider just called you a Mothra
Yeah.
head. I don't even know what that means. Oh, just that you're like a fan,
I'll
or that
take it.
you look like you have a Mothra for a head.
I'll take either. Both are compliments.
I don't know how that's a compliment, but
Mothra's cool.
you Mothra head. I'm gonna
She
start
can
calling you
spit
that.
This
pollen
book's for
webs.
Mothra heads only.
You Mothra head.
You goddamn Mothra head.
What else did you get?
I got Absolute Batman number 11, which I know is the Bane origin.
It is.
But I haven't gotten to it yet. But I love Absolute Bane so far. Like he feels almost designed for me as somebody who doesn't like Bane typically.
What's cool about it though is I like Bane a lot, and I like this Bane. So like I think it's kind of working for everybody. And more than some other characters in Absolute Batman, it feels like a pretty honest to god update as opposed to a complete reinvention. Like he's still Bane. He comes from a similar place. I like the idea. You've not read it yet, but I like the idea that he doesn't have the vision of the bat in this version. It's a vision of a bird, and just what they do thematically with that is really interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So are they kind of tying that into his like Bird, like his henchman from Nightfall,
Maybe
or is
he
that
doesn't have
like
that,
maybe?
Yeah.
but that might be why that's there. And I'm wondering if there's going to be any connection with that to an eventual Robin, because it's the first bird
Sure.
anything that
When
we're
we
getting.
got Dick Grayson, I think like an issue or two ago.
Oh, I forgot
So
about
it is
that.
possible.
But
Yeah.
it's ruthless and horrifying, and Bane is making this whole case for like peace is pointless and war is the only way to get anything done. And I won't give anything away, but there's a cool revelation about his like personal life at the end that was surprising. And yeah,
cool.
it's real screwed up. And there's this gigantic or there's this full page spread at the end of it that everybody's talking about because we can't decide if it's Bane or Batman that you're looking at.
I did see that.
Have you seen
I did
that?
see that picture. Yeah,
And
yeah, I saw people posting it
I
online.
think that could go either way. I like it's because the way it's set up, it's like Bane wants Batman to go to Gotham and be like this like venom infused Bane version of Batman, and that's like making war on Gotham is how he's gonna accomplish his goals, and he's got to stop like going for peace. So you can't tell if what you're looking at is Bane's vision for Batman or actually Batman or Bane in a bat suit. Because then the actual cliffhanger at the end suggests that Bane I'll just say this, has gone to Gotham, and you're seeing a first person perspective. So I don't actually know what that panel is. And I also think that there might be people that read that issue and missed the last page because there's an ad right after that full page spread and it of the big like scary Batman Bane, and it looks like I was almost duped to close the issue. I thought it was over, and then I turned the page and there's one more thing that happens, and I was like, I've heard people talk about this like that's the last page.
That's awesome. Yeah, the way I had seen it was somebody saying that it was like a vision thing, or like this is what Bane wants Batman to be. But that was just somebody's interpretation. So if that's just like up for interpretation, that could be just that person.
I think that is what it is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, and that's what I said too. I think off of 9 or 10, I can't remember which one, but I was like, I'm pretty sure what they're doing with Batman in the prison is to make him like also like Bane, where he's Venom.
Well, they're definitely
infused.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, because they've got him full on trussed up, like doing that to him by the end of this. Like that is definitely that is definitely what's happening. I'm just spoiling that, but that's definitely what's happening. Well, but that shouldn't surprise anybody.
Hey, you know this book you bought? Guess what?
What's cool about it is they're kind of doing Venom and Nightfall simultaneously.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
You know, because you think about it, like, you have Denny O'Neil's Batman Venom, where he's on the Venom before you even know who Bane is, and they're just mixing all that together. Like, Bane is, like, what makes that happen in the first place.
Yeah.
They also have this cool idea that the Venom toxin makes Bane super smart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I love that idea. So he's able to, like, keep all this information in his head. He can, like, retain, like, every book he reads when he's on Venom, and he knows every kind of martial art, and so it's hard to best him at anything, because he basically uses the Venom to be like he's downloading stuff for the Matrix, and it's wonderful.
So he's also Prometheus,
That's
too.
great. Well, that's like the kind of thing that like I really appreciate in his Bane, is that it's kind of making fun of like what I have with typical Bane, where it's like, oh, he's like Batman, but like one step above. He's like better at like everything. So it's like just like he's just perfect at everything. Like, it's really amusing. It's really funny. He's like 15 feet tall before he puts in Venom.
Well, yeah, and then that's why he keeps calling Batman like Little Man or whatever, because compared to him, he is small, and we have a 6'7" Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's wonderful. It's really amusing.
Wonderful. Apologies for giving a couple things away about that book, but I don't know how to talk about it at all without a couple of details. Well, I'm apologizing to the audience as much as you, Austin, but I was pretty excited about it. It's pretty great.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
My next one is also an absolute origin, which is Flash number 6, which is the origin of the Rogues.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm excited to see what that's like, because I really like the Rogues dynamic in Absolute Flash.
I do too. I just think it's funny that they're the Rogues before there's anything for them to be rogues of.
Yeah, it's like
they're I don't know, they're roguish folk.
they're a military unit. That's the opposite of roguish. You get in trouble for going rogue.
Yeah, well, that's how that's what
There's
they'll
no
do is they'll go
team in
rogue by the
Rogue.
end.
There's no team in rogue.
That's what'll happen. They'll go rogue from the military, and then they're the rogues.
Oh, is that like how the Wildcats are like the what's the actual acronym?
I don't know, because nobody's thought about the Wildcats for 30 years.
Look, almost nobody. Almost nobody. Because, yeah, like the actual acronym is CATS, and they're the Wildcats because those cats are wild.
Nicholas Bodo, this issue explains why they're the rogues in the first place. Oh, good! It'll be nice for that to make sense.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, on the cover, they're, it looks like they're going to prison, so maybe they're like a Suicide Squad type thing.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, like a Task Force Y instead of X.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that makes sense because Boomerang has been such a mainstay for a long time for Suicide Squad. Like, I could see them maybe even merging those ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually they'll spin some of them off as the new Suicide Squad. Like, I could see that happening.
Yeah, because I feel like that's like an inevitable absolute book is Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But probably like a little bit down the line, maybe after Justice League.
The big twist with that is Amanda Waller will be like 4 feet tall.
She was played by Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
What else do you have, Austin?
I've Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe #2, which I'm very nervous to read after the first issue. But it's got a Venomized Godzilla on the cover.
You did not have real great things to say about that.
No, and I liked the one-shots before that. I thought they were pretty neat. The Fantastic Four one especially I thought was really cool. I'm trying to think of who wrote the Spider-Man one. It was maybe Joe Kelly.
I bought the X-Men one and really liked it.
The Spider-Man one is just like showing off like their 80s Spider-Man knowledge, where it's like we're dumped like in this exact like issue point. Like,
Oh,
look
that's
how
great.
much I know about
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
The X-Men one is kind of like that with 90s stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I probably didn't appreciate it as much just because I don't know like a ton about X-Men in that period. So it's like I'm sure a lot of that just kind of went over my head.
I'm gonna have to check it
But
out too, because like that is an era that I've been recently trying to like. That's when I started reading X-Men, and I've been kind of going back and like refamiliarizing myself with recently too, like trying to go through and sit down and actually read like X-Force.
mhm.
Which now part of that too was because like a couple years ago I was like, okay, this is the year I finally get into New Mutants. But like I read the trade, read like some of the Demon Bear, and I was like, hey, I enjoy this, I should read more, and then I didn't. It's just
Yeah, I was gonna read some of that when the movie came out, and then I just never got around to it because I was like, a giant demon bear. That sounds like right up my alley.
I
And I
know,
just
right?
didn't get to it.
It's
I
like
remember
Chris
when that movie
Claremont's-
came out. I was like, so Cap, how cool was the demon bear? I'm excited to see that, and he's just like, "Ah." I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
here's like New Mutants is one of those books that is so hit and
Kind
miss.
of cheap looking. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I haven't seen the movie, and honestly, too, it's like I don't kind of don't want to. It's just,
Yeah, it exists.
it exists. It's out there,
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Dark Phoenix, so
Dark Phoenix is much much worse, so I can give it that.
That's true.
That's good. Yeah.
And they
New
both,
Mutants, I feel like you could tweak into a good movie,
Right.
they're
but Dark
both
Phoenix
too
is just
short
bad.
and took a weird amount of time to come out. That's what those have in common.
Yeah.
It's true. That is true.
Austin, what else do you have, man?
I got GI Joe number 10, which I've been really digging. That book is really cool. I feel like it's just kind of gotten better and better as it's gone along, which I really appreciate. This arc feels like it's like a little side story, but at the same time, like it's not in like a bad way. Like it doesn't feel like a filler thing. It's just, let's just kind of like let these characters breathe for a little bit. And I've been really liking that because the first arc is very over the top and silly, where Cobra Commander has a bomb that can like take over your minds, so that he's gonna like blow it up in Washington, so that everyone in Washington is in love with him. And I'm like, that is so hilariously cartoony.
I was about to say
love
that
it.
is a GI Joe plot to the T.
Yeah, exactly. No, you get stuff like that, but then it's also, it can get really dark and violent, like Transformers can. They're definitely really good at balancing that all around. I also, speaking of Skybound, and it's the only issue that I've read so far through August, and I read it today just because it was my only number one these last 2 weeks, so I was like, I should probably read this so I can actually say anything about it, which is Skybound's The Invisible Man book. And I've also been really digging the Universal Monster books, but this one's really cool because most of it takes place before that original movie, and that's Tinian, and he writes the Invisible Man like a very demented Steve Ditko Spider-Man, where he just walks around as like a loner, being like, "Oh, everybody sucks. I'm gonna get them."
I'm sold already.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And it's one of those things where I think he has a very different read of that original movie than I do, just based on his letter at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way I find is interesting, where like I see that movie as more tragic, while he sees it more as like the Shining movie, where it's like, this guy just kind of sucks. So that's kind of how he's writing it.
Right.
And it's really enjoyable so far. And yeah, there's just like a ton of him going to like social outings, and people are like, this guy's just kind of weird. And he's just like, oh, everybody in this world, I'm so much better than them.
That sounds great.
really
I was unfair to Tinian earlier when I said he wasn't like a A-list writer.
Well, he also, but again, this is
Yeah.
You said this was Skybound?
Yeah,
Yes.
they've been doing all the Universal Monster
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So, I mean, he's going off doing his own thing. I mean, he did the big two, then went off. So, again, that's kind of tracks with what we were saying, too. And, I mean, I love this comic,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and I've
I
only
was
read his
tempted.
creator.
I definitely want to read
his
this.
creator own stuff.
I don't know if I have to buy
I
this in
recommend
issues, but Invisible Man of all of those characters was always my favorite.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a sucker.
No,
for
I
Geiger,
definitely
so-
recommend it. And I've only read his creator-owned stuff, and then obviously this because it's not exactly that. Like it is licensed technically.
Yeah.
And I know because he also did the Dracula one, and in both letters at the end of his first issues, he's like, "Yeah, I was done doing licensed comics. Then they gave me the Universal Monsters stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that." So I also
Unfortunately, how can you
wonder,
not?
because I haven't read his DC stuff, like maybe it's just my heart's not really in this stuff, but like I'm in comics. Like, what else do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, it could be that, but I've
I'm
mostly
sure,
read
I'm sure that's what
stuff
it is.
outside of it.
Something
It's
something
really
I will
good.
give to Tinian is he has the funniest voice for Bane. Like,
Oh, really?
If you ever read any issue with that Tinian writes with Bane in it, he just writes Rice's Bane dialogue, and it's so funny.
Oh, that is funny.
Did you ever read Secret Six by any chance?
No,
I've read
not more than
like
an
the
issue
first
or two.
trade of that, so like however
Yeah.
long that was, but I
mean,
really liked that stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but the thing that makes that book way better, even as good as it is if you read Bane's dialogue in the Tom Hardy voice, just puts up that extra notch for me.
Yeah, and the stuff I've read, I haven't even gotten to where Bane joins. I imagine I'm probably not far off from that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a
But-
long book.
No, I mean, basically once you get
No,
to Bane, you're already
I-
back towards the end.
Yeah, no, I have it collected in 3 trades, so I imagine he probably pops up in the second.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I didn't think it went past 20 issues.
There are like some lines in it that if you hear Tom Hardy in your head, it becomes like an episode of Harley Quinn. And I mean that complimentary.
Tyler says Tinian's Joker series is good. He says it's a Stealth Jim Gordon book. I've never read that.
Nice.
I didn't even know about that.
I think I've heard of that, yeah. Yeah, I think I've
what,
heard that's pretty cool.
what else do you have, Austin? I'm trying to make this
getting
not a
near the end,
4-hour
but
show tonight.
I got 2 more, so I'm almost done. I got Void Rivals number 22, which is a book that I would say is like my underdog book of everything I read, because I will read it, be like, oh, this is great, and then get away from it and be like, yeah, well, that's like just one of the books I'm reading. I don't know, it's pretty good, I guess. And then I read it, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is why I'm still reading this. It's pretty fun. I'm glad because the main characters were like separated for a while, and they've finally been brought together again. And I'm glad that that's happened. Because the way I would describe that book is like Romeo and Juliet if they were Star-Lord and Gamora, and so like they have like a pretty fun dynamic. But I'm glad that they're finally back together. And it was like All at War was starting in the last issue that I read. Which is pretty funny because Hot Rod from Transformers had just shown up, and he's just like, "What the hell is this? Like, now I'm in the middle of a war."
So how much
but yeah,
Transformer stuff is
pretty
actually
fun.
in that book? Because I thought there was a little bit from the beginning. Is that unusual?
Yeah, so it kind of just like pops up here and there. It's a lot more like the Transformers, like sci-fi elements, like the Quintessons are a pretty big part of that book. You have Skuxoid, I think is how you pronounce it. He's like a bounty hunter from season 3 of that show, and he's like a main supporting character. He's kind of like the breakaway star from that book. And then right now we have 2 Transformers, which are Springer and Hot Rod. But they're not like a huge part of it. It's definitely much more the like post-movie era is what that book's looking at.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But yeah. And then my last issue from the like last 2 weeks is Mr. Terrific Year 1, number 4.
What has that been like?
It's been pretty cool so far. It's on the lower end, I would say, of everything I'm reading, but it's pretty neat. It's cool getting to learn more about that character, and that also kind of drops into like a specific period in DC where you have like the main villain is a businesswoman that's taken over his company, and he's just kind of living as like a hermit. and she's working for Darkseid, kind of like the old school Jack Kirby stuff,
Oh,
where he's
that's
like
nice,
influencing crime lords.
Mr.
Yeah,
Terrific.
so that's been pretty cool.
It's cool that they're saddling it in a real specific period like that.
Yeah. And Mr. Terrific's been a character I've been like trying to like read more of anyway, just because I think we all had the same reaction when we saw the Superman movie. Be like, wow, I didn't realize he was cool.
Yeah, it's definitely what I've had where I'm like, I need to read more Mr. Terrific, I need to read more Metamorpho. I haven't gotten around to Metamorpho, but they're also in a book together with, I think it's like New 52, the Terrifics book, so
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm excited to check that out, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and there's been different characters popping up in Mr. Terrific Year 1 too. Like this issue, it looks like you got Batman coming in. Issue 2 is a whole thing where he's going to kill himself, and the Spectre comes and is like, no, like this is why you shouldn't do this. And which is cool because he originates from the Spectre. Like he first appears in Ostrander's run on that, so it's kind of cool that they like reconnected it through that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think I'd heard somewhere.
Yeah,
I knew
so-
he was older than he was, that you thought he was too. Like he was from '97 or so, but I didn't know he was from Ostrander Spectre, which.
Yeah, I had to look that up because I was like, the Spectre seems kind of random in this book, and then I was like, that has to be like something specific to his history. Like I feel like that's too specific of a choice.
Right.
And so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, he originates from the Spectre. This makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my issues for the last 2 weeks.
Cool. Well, thanks. Because I knew you were reading a bunch of stuff opposite from things I'm reading, and that gives us more variety of things to mention to people. Now you can actually go read them.
I know, exactly. Cap was like, hey, do you want to come on and talk about your books? I'm like, oh, God, I haven't caught up on my August books yet.
Yeah.
I'm so behind.
Well, that's all right. We haven't had you on the show yet, so you're able to talk about just more in general the stuff you've been reading. So maybe next time we have you on, you can talk about books that you've read. That'd be good.
Yeah, exactly. And watch, next time it'll be in a week where it's like all Godzilla stuff, and you guys will be like, I don't care. Stop reading so many Godzilla books.
Okay, sir. First of all,
Well, that's all right. I'll have a week at some point where it's like Space Ghost, Captain Planet, Powerpuff Girls, and everybody is like, stop talking.
first of all, let me
no
just
one cares.
let me just say I am offended that you think I will ever not care about Godzilla. How dare you, sir?
Well, he's so everywhere right now. There was a point where I was like, is he getting oversaturated?
Yeah, he's
I
across
don't care.
DC, Marvel, and IDW too. It's like
Hey, he's being printed by all three at once.
yeah, I know.
Well, when do we have the inevitable Marvel versus Godzilla versus Kong versus Alien versus Predator? Like, when does that happen?
Versus Capcom.
I thought you were going to say specifically the Marvel versus DC crossover, but Godzilla's forced into it.
I'm sure they can do that too, but like Marvel, everything in Marvel is fighting either Godzilla right now or Alien or and Predator. Like,
I just want Dark Claw as a kaiju. That's all
Very
I
true.
want.
There we go. There we go.
Versus
Amalgam.
Alien versus Predator. Sure.
Yeah, just throw that in. Too.
And then you amalgamate a Predator with different heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, at this point, we're going so
Godzilla
far that if we
would
actually
come
pitch
too.
this, it'd be original too. Be like, all right, he's Batman plus Wolverine plus a Predator
Plus a
also
Predator.
plus a Predator. Also, he's a kaiju. It's like that makes no sense, but I've never seen that before.
God damn it. I'm in.
You guys notice the only Marvel books with action in them have Alien and Predator also? Have you noticed that?
Yes. Well, the last ongoing I was reading at Marvel was the 2023 Guardians book, and that was great for like 4 issues, and then went nowhere after that.
Did it have
that
any
got canceled.
punching?
No, but
No, yeah.
Of course not.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
but that got, I think, 13 issues and an annual. Didn't finish its first story arc. Like, what are we doing?
I'm not saying I need punching in every book. I'm saying more things would sell if they had punching.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Well, Austin, do you have any quick final thoughts before we bid you adieu, and then I'm going to throw out some of my books?
No, that's pretty much it. That's all my stuff. I'm happy to share with you guys, and good talking to you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll see you for more shows later in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna buy an Invisible Man book too.
Yes, definitely buy Invisible
I kinda
Man.
wanna
If I
read
can leave you guys with anything, the Skybound Universal Monster books are fantastic.
Yeah, Austin's pick of the week is the one book he actually read.
Exactly. You know, if you read the one that you know is going to be your best book, you can't go wrong.
Fair.
Well, thanks, Austin. We appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
right, bye.
Bye.
I kind of hate just dropping Austin out, but I'm afraid this is going to be a 5-hour show.
Yeah.
If we have all three of us the whole time. Okay, let me run
Exactly.
through the rest of my stuff real quick. I'll go back to my back issues that I've not read that I just bought and just show them to you. This was quite a find. This was a flea market find.
Okay, yeah.
I was walking at a local flea market just seeing if they had any books, and I found this. Have you ever seen this?
No. Oh. I maybe.
Okay, so
I
this
feel like
is
only
not-
once in like a Wizard magazine somewhere.
So this is not the like regular Matrix comics that were finally traded a few years ago. This was a promotional comic that was put out and for some reason recalled.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why, but they recalled this book. And this is when I looked this up on eBay for anywhere between like 40 and $100, and I found this at a flea market. The guy didn't know what he had and put $5 on this.
No. Oh, wow.
And it's definitely worth more than that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. What's funny about it is he had a bunch of comics in his booth that were real overpriced. That were like priced 2-3 times what they're actually worth.
Right.
Had no idea what this was. Put $5 on it. Probably thought he was overpricing it.
Yeah.
So I was excited to get my hands on that. And yeah, so that was kind of a neat find. And then
It even says like Wizard in the corner there too. Was it actually like through Wizard or
no, so believe it or not, that's just this bag.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This has nothing to do with Wizard.
Right.
I thought that too at first. I was
Yeah.
confused. He just had Wizard bags. So several of the books in his booth had that because that's just his bag.
Guy knows his more of the month.
That was not interesting to anybody. This was another random issue that Selena picked out because she likes Supergirl. So so this is from 07. This is Supergirl number 18. And Selena picked this because it has 2 Supergirls on the cover. What's going on? Whoa! You know what I'm surprised we've never done?
What's that?
Supergirl red, Supergirl blue.
Oh, okay, that's money on the table.
Right?
That's
right?
money on the table.
Right
too.
there.
Yeah.
Why haven't we done this yet?
Exactly.
And then just gap filling, Webs of Spider-Man 50. I just didn't have one of those.
Yeah,
It was
no.
cheap. Grab that. I've started collecting the Topps Jurassic Park comics, and I found issue 2. I bought issue 1 a while back,
Right.
the poly bag, and I got issue 2.
Nice.
And then I read this in trade, but I finally bought a copy of Soul of the Dragon.
Oh, nice.
There are a few of these trade size like one shot Power Ranger graphic novels, and this one I didn't love. I remember it being a little bit disappointing, but people love this book.
Yeah.
I'll have to reread it, give it another shot. I read it back when it came out years ago now.
Right.
This is when Kyle Higgins was still on.
Yeah, he was on there
the
for a
book.
while too. I mean, that first round too.
And more and more, Chris, I've been wanting to read Radiant Black.
Yes, yes.
And if we have a week where we don't have any super chat takers, I'm totally gonna pick that.
Right.
Let me say, if you end up being the super chat winner tonight and you have not been reading new stuff and you don't know what to pick, I would suggest Radiant Black.
Radiant Black.
'Cause that's the thing I've really been wanting to read lately. I found a Radiant Black #1 at my comic shop the other day. That's one that's worth a little bit more right now to people because it was a lower print run and they didn't expect to sell as well as they did.
Right.
So a first printing is I don't know, like $10 right now.
Yeah.
And I almost picked that up, but I was buying so much. I ended up not doing that.
Right.
So I'll probably get that at some point.
Yeah.
Especially if I end up liking that book. And then I got more of Dark Patterns. I got
Nice.
4, 5, and 6 now. and I guess 7.
Yeah.
So I'm real close to caught up on this. Dark Patterns is about to end. It's only going to be 12 issues.
Yeah.
And I think at least 10 is out, if not 11. I'm not caught up on this.
Dark Patterns is kind of like
first 3
the
issues.
example of what we're talking about. Like, hey, do just a good detective Batman story. Just do a good Batman story where he solves like a mystery, you know?
Yeah, I've been talking about that. But, and then I'm going to talk about a comic a little bit later, written by the same writer, Dan Waters. And I've heard hit or miss things about him.
Yeah.
People don't like some of his. But he did do some DC or some Marvel stuff. I can't remember, but there's some runs that I've heard are apparently not great. But I really like his Batman.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So then, just because I knew we were doing Geiger today, I found the first issue of the new volume. For half cover, so I did go ahead and buy that.
Nice.
Mostly so we would have a prop for today, but this is actually not what we're talking about. We're talking about the original 6-issue volume, and if I'd had time, I would have gone ahead and read this too, because this would be the next thing.
Right.
There was also an 80-page giant. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see it. No, yeah.
I haven't read that,
No.
but I also noticed they did that. So it was the cover for that was like the old DC 80-page giants, which was kind of neat. Anyway, going through stuff from the last couple of weeks, we already talked about Crypto number 3. That was great, but like I said, just a really fast read.
Yeah.
I bought Birds of Prey 23. I haven't read this yet. I haven't been regularly buying this book. But I liked the cover for the last issue, and Jason kind of begged me to buy this because we both love Cassandra Cain Batgirl.
Cassandra Cain is great.
And this is another great Cassandra Cain cover. But I'm finding it is hard to screw her up on a cover. It's like every time I see this character on a cover, I want the book.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So like, is it the art is always that great, or is it just it's such a good costume you can't screw it up?
It is such a great costume, and it's so like again, great character design. You get good character design, anything else follows.
Oh, I forgot Dan Waters was doing that Creature for the Black Lagoon book, Austin. Thanks for reminding me about that. Yes, he's been telling me good things about that. I've heard good stuff from other folks about that too. Okay, and then I bought. I went back a couple weeks, and I got a copy of Detective 1100, just because milestone oversized thing. I haven't been reading Detective at all, but I loved this gothic cover. I just thought this was kind of gorgeous.
Yeah.
And there were a couple stories that I heard reviews of in this that sounded cool. So this is another one of those annual-esque, just everybody's got like a 10, 12-page short story. And there's a Rucka story in this that sounded really good.
Nice.
And that's mostly what I wanted it for.
Yeah.
I've not read that yet. I will. So maybe I'll talk about that next time. We already talked about Absolute Batman 11, which is just wonderful and not for the faint of heart, but everybody should be reading that. Okay, Black Cat number 1. I bought a Marvel book that I bought because I loved this cover. I thought it was wonderful, and it had a couple of cool variants.
Yeah.
And I almost got one of those, and then I went, wait a minute, the only reason I'm buying this book is for this cover. So it'd be really stupid if I bought a variant. Especially if I ended up not liking it.
Exactly.
So, this was aggressively average, Chris. It's fine.
You know what? At least it's something.
I didn't hate it.
Is that what? Is that where we have like weirdo silent Spider-Man?
Yes.
Because here's the thing. I was even just thinking about this too. You could have Norman Osborn Spider-Man, but you know what would be even better? Is if it was just like some weirdo in a Spider-Man costume. It's like there's a second Spider-Man. Thanks for saving the day. And he just vanishes.
I wish Spider-Man would deal with copycats.
Yeah.
Because of the stupid Spider-Verse thing, you've got all these Spider-Mans running around everywhere. Why isn't there ever one that's pretending to be the main one? They're always offshoots, and like even if they call themselves Spider-Man, you could always tell when it's not the original. And it's like when Superman died and you had four characters taking his place, none of which looked or seemed at all really, except for maybe Eradicator.
Yeah.
The real Superman. People were like, maybe it's the real one. And then you got all these Spider-Mans running around.
Yeah, exactly.
And immediately people are like, oh, I know what the real Spider-Man is versus that. Like, Spider-Man himself can change his costume. He's done it before.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a really good point you make. But anyway, I'll talk for a second about Black Cat. Like I said, it's very average. My main issue with this is we're just not getting enough done in the first issue for your $4 or $5, I guess $5 price tag. The art is okay, but it's kind of comedic, kind of a little bit cartoony, and it doesn't live up to the cover. So you wish the interior looked like this.
Yeah.
Because this is real gorgeous. It's a real sexy cover, and I kind of wish the rest of the issue looked like this. But it's fine. It's not bad. Who is the artist on this? Melenkov. This is G. Wilson writing, but this artist I've never heard of. So the idea here is Spider-Man's not pulling his weight because it turns out he's not Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's just a weirdo who doesn't talk to people.
And Black Cat is trying to do her regular Black Cat thing. She says she likes to shake up the status quo, and she's not interested in the system. She's trying to bring chaos to the system by just stealing random stuff and doing random crimes. That's what she's all about.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man not doing anything is making that difficult for her because his villains that he usually takes out are getting in her way. So she decides, and it takes her too long in just sort of like soul searching and just breaking down like what's not working with her philosophy right now. Where she's like, and I didn't like this. She has this whole diatribe to the night nurse about how she always liked the idea of mixing up the system, maybe taking down the system, and then she realizes that she relies too much on the system. The system being Spider-Man. The idea is we need crime fighters to keep the system going, otherwise she doesn't have anything to really shake up, and then if that whole thing fell apart, now you'd have just anarchy, and she can't really live in that world either. So she realizes she actually wants there to be a system to shake up in the first place. And so if there's, and I mean, there are other superheroes. That's where the idea sort of breaks down. Is like how much is Spider-Man really keeping enough criminals off the street that they wouldn't get in Black Cat's way? I wasn't sure I bought the premise, but you get to the end of this, and her idea is, well, Spider-Man's not going to do it. I guess I'll do it myself. And I think she even says that. I think it's the Thanos thing. And so now she's going to fight crime. What I don't like about it is that Wilson kind of treats it like this is a brilliant, never been there kind of idea for Black Cat. And it's also kind of odd, and I realize this is several years old at this point, but it's also kind of odd that the fact that she was the Kingpin never comes up. Because it should be kind of a wild pendulum swing where it's like a while ago, especially with citing timeline, it would be that long. For her, I was the Kingpin of crime. Now I'm gonna try to be Spider-Man, basically. And
that'd be a fun dynamic too to play around with too. I mean,
it's weird that it's weird that never comes up. But it's okay. I don't know if I liked it well enough to keep going with it. Probably not. And again, I mostly just bought this because I thought the cover was cool. So at least the interior wasn't a complete waste of my time.
I mean, G. Willie Wilson is one of those characters.
G. Willie Williker.
She's one of those writers who I've liked a lot of her stuff too. And I think even like her stuff that's just kind of fine. There's at least something to. There's at least something interesting behind. But yeah, like it's funny. We've talked about with All-Star Batman I did it again. Absolute Batman.
Absolute All-Star Batman.
Absolute All-Star Batman, yep. Where the individual pieces sound bad, but together they're amazing. This book, it seems like kind of the opposite, where the individual pieces actually sound pretty great, but from what it sounds like the execution, it's just got, I haven't read it, so I have to go. I don't know. We should read comics or something too.
We should. It was. There's a lot down here.
There's a lot.
There's plenty you could read.
I have an app for that.
But yeah, like I said, I didn't hate it. It's fine. Dan Schneider, does the Black Cat issue have fan service or sensuality? Genuinely curious, not trying to be weird. I kind of thought. I kind of thought possibly from this writer that would be ultra sanitized, and I was kind of surprised that you had a kind of sexy cover with that, but she surprisingly doesn't really skimp on that. And I thought this was entirely unnecessary, but there is a scene where she's taking a bath I was kind of surprised by that. So no, she seems very in character to me. So I like that. I've got Shredder #1, which is again Dan Waters.
Yeah.
With art by Michelle Bandini. We got a Santaluco cover. This is and Santaluco is my favorite Ninja Turtles artist.
Yeah, and
this
it's a great cover too.
Yet another book, kind of like Black Cat, where the interiors just do not quite live up to the cover. I like the art in this fine, but I didn't think it was great. The Shredder flashback was probably the best panel.
Nice.
That almost looks like it's drawn by a different artist. So once he gets fully suited up, I think it's going to be better. I'm not the biggest fan of the way this guy draws faces, but this was, I don't want to say aggressively average like Black Cat, but I wasn't blown away yet. It's another first issue that is a little bit slow to get off the ground.
Yeah.
Shredder has come back from some version of hell. And we had the old Shredder Goes to Hellish series. I don't know if we've had any Shredder stuff between that and now. This might be finally the follow-up to that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But Shredder goes back to his old house, his old kind of castle, and somebody new has taken over the Foot Clan, or has taken over that building and started kind of a new Foot Clan, and they use the old foot symbol and they flip it upside down.
Nice.
And so he's like trying to come back and gain his stomping grounds again, and then he kind of lets himself get arrested. And that's sort of where we're at the end of this, is he's gonna, I guess, work for the government, and they give him a new Shredder suit that it's like a mech suit, and he is kind of insulted by that and doesn't like the idea that they think that he needs to be augmented, so he just rips the whole thing up and takes the helmet off of it and puts the helmet on, and that's all he's using. And it was okay. I hope it picks up after this. I'll keep going with it for now. Martian Manhunter #6. I need to go back and reread everything with this so far, because I feel sort of lost.
Yeah, no, that checks out. That's how it is. That's
yeah.
I mean, they're complimentary too.
like we all know how trippy and weird that book is, and how it's playing around with what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
But I don't think it reads great month to month. Like, I kind of want to read all that together, as wild and crazy as it is. Like, maybe take the occasional break, but I don't want too much time in between them.
Yeah.
So I did read this. I don't want to speak too much to it right now. It does kind of resolve a lot of what we've got up to this point. This is about to take a break because it was supposed to only be a 6-issue miniseries, and now they've decided it's a monthly, and it's going to keep going. So this was good, but I will appreciate it more with the rest of that fresher in my mind. And it does the hold the page up to the light to see the whole page thing again.
Yeah.
And that's fun. And when you get to the end of that, that's the only way that you can read the credits. They put the credits on that page.
Okay, that's amazing. That is cool.
That was pretty great.
That's great.
Give me just a second.
Yeah, I just remember, I read the first issue on the app. So I read digitally just on, my iPad. And when I got to, the bit where you have to hold the page up to the light, it's like, man, I wish I had this book. Man, I wish I had a floppy.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem you're reading that in digital.
Yeah. It's like, I was looking at it, it's all right, I appreciate this for what it is, even if I can't experience it.
I also picked up and read Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures #28. This is still Eric Burnham. He's been on this since the beginning. And this had a shorter series right before they made it an ongoing. So there's more 35, 36 issues of this. And I haven't been buying this regularly, but every time I get it, it's a real good one-and-done kind of story. But they're also doing some... Oh yeah, Street Sharks is getting.
I was about to say too. I was looking at the back.
But yeah, they are he's doing in a somewhat ongoing story with this, but still having kind of one and done stories in the middle of it, and he's starting to adapt in the '87 stuff things Tom Waltz did in IDW, which is wild.
Oh, wow.
So now they're dealing with a cartoonier, dumbed down version of the Pantheon, which is wild. Yeah, and I was really surprised by that.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a like a weird twisted version of the Batman animated series episode Perchance to Dream. So it's like the turtles are in a they get these headsets put on them by this villain that is a like female octopus creature who I guess whenever she sings she can make men do her bidding, and she lulls them into this like digital Matrix-esque universe, and at first they're like everyone loves them and they get the key to the city, and even Shredder decides he's their biggest fan, and then for some reason a couple pages later they all turn on them in this alternate reality, and it's fun, but I mainly bought it for this cover. I just had to have that
cover, yeah.
with Shredder playing a Turtles arcade game.
Yeah,
I thought that was great, so I had to have that. That was another issue Selena really wanted me to buy, but I would have bought that anyway.
Yeah. I think what we need now is the Last Ronin, except we get the guys who do the cartoon voices to do it. Like the guy who voiced Yakko and the guy who voiced Liquid Snake.
I think it would be hilarious if Burnham went even further with this and did a miniseries that was Last Ronin, but the '87 version. That would be awesome.
I would buy every single issue of that.
If I wasn't buying so much right now, I would consider finally putting this on my pull and starting to get these, because I didn't realize they were doing kind of an ongoing story, and that sounds really odd and interesting.
Yeah.
And then I got the last issue of Robin and Batman Jason Todd, which I'm ultimately liking more for the art than the story, I guess.
Yeah.
This feels a little bit inconsequential when you get to the end of it, but I guess that's to be expected, because it's basically Jason Todd almost goes off the deep end and further to the dark side before it actually happens.
Right.
And he teams up, I talked about this before, but he teams up with this villain called the Wraith, who wants him to brutalize and kill criminals and doesn't feel like Batman goes far enough. And then, as you might expect, he ends up turning on that guy. But by the end of it, he's like, Batman thinks he can change me. He can't. I know I'm real dark and already have gone too far. And like, I kind of prove the opposite with this, but I know it's only a matter of time. Like, it's ultimately a pretty inconsequential story.
Say the Wraith, is that the anti-Batman from the Player on the Other Side story?
Maybe that
has
is
like
who
the
that
big
was.
W on his face.
I didn't know if this was a made-up character or if it was somebody we'd seen before.
Because there was, I might be thinking of, I hope I'm thinking of the same guy. Because there's been a couple of like Batman characters where like their parents were criminals who were killed by the cops. You had like Prometheus. I think I was killing Monster Order at one point. But then you had the Player on the Other Side story where it was Commissioner Gordon who got in like a gunfight with basically Bonnie and Clyde, and the kid grows up to become like an anti-Batman. It was like I think it was just like either a 1 or 2 issue story way back in like the 80s at some point.
Well, and that's what that villain from, what was it, Batman Year 2 was also.
Yeah. Who became like the Phantom or the Phantasm in the
Phantasm,
yeah.
And then the Nicholas Bodo, would you say this is somewhat retcon heavy? Only in, he's still talking about this. That's a great question, Nicholas. And that was a concern I had with the first issue. Only in the sense that it is heavily informed by what will happen later. So it does have a little bit of that prequelitis. Like there is a flash of Red Hood that you have in the first issue, and I was like, I don't need that. Yeah. That's a little bit of like Pike knowing he's going to be in the chair from New Trek. Like I don't need that.
Right.
But I mean, it's not that bad. It's not like he gets actual premonitions of the future, but he's kind of driven Red Hood. I don't love that. And then there is just a lot of talk about like how he's like likely to go too far and there's nothing anybody can do about it, and it's very informed by what will happen later. And the last thing I wanted to mention, this was the thing I was most excited about from last week. This is Kyle Higgins again. Kyle Higgins doing Immortal Legend Batman, which is Batman basically as a tokusatsu. And and you would love this.
Yes, no, I'm already sold. I've seen the cover. I've seen it in like Solits and stuff like that too. So
the art is just gorgeous, and there's multiple artists on this, which is kind of cool. So
is that Daniel Warren Johnson too?
Yeah,
yeah.
And then it's got some Dan Mora and Erica DeRusso, and so this is set in the 22nd century, and it's a Batman that is on an outpost on another planet, so it's not even set on Earth,
right?
And it's just it's like a space Batman, and the idea is in order to you get kind of the origin for this world at the end of it, so you don't really understand the mythology and how all this is set up until you get the setup for the story. And then at the end, they're like, okay, here's how all this mess began, and that structure works pretty well. I kind of like that we're just thrown into this kind of weird, wild world. We don't even know what Batman is until about 2/3 of the way through it. This, by the way, is a first issue that does get plotting done.
There you go. Hey.
Which I appreciate. Take note, Marvel. I gotta show you one of the full-page spreads with this because it's wonderful. Well, first of all, you got the Two-Faced Man. That's just boss.
That's cool.
And then you have
Rita Revolto there.
So this is a Batman who, basically being a Power Ranger, will yell his move sets, which is great. So he's like Bat Press.
Yes.
And it's everything you want from this. I love the colors. I love how kinetic and dynamic it looks. You can imagine what this would look like as in an animated thing. And I kind of hope this gets adapted at some point. To an animated movie. That would just be great.
Daniel Warren Johnson too. A lot of his art. I mean, he's put like pro wrestling moves in the Transformers. He did a book, a miniseries that got collected. I mean, it was a miniseries that started in like 2023, was collected in 2024, and ended up on like Book of the Year lists for both years, called Do a Powerbomb.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, no, which I think, like, even if you're not like a pro wrestling guy, you can find something with it just because it's about luchadors in hell, which I mean, you can't screw that up. I'm just saying. But yeah, it was funny because it started in like 2023, got collected in 2024, and ended up on Book of the Year books for Book of the Year lists for like both years. So, and it deserves it too. It was a very, very good book.
So real quick, the background for this is, in order to get into space, humanity had to harness the power of dark matter. And in so doing, the big price they paid was accidentally creating or summoning these like dark matter creatures that they call the Shadows. And what happens in the middle of this issue is we find out that there's a shadow that's masquerading as Bruce Wayne.
Nice.
And you don't know whether or not our Batman is Bruce Wayne initially, because it seems like there may be two different characters. That's a minor thing I'm giving away, but like I wasn't totally surprised by that. But anyway, Bruce Wayne in this is both basically a Power Ranger and the sheriff, which is fun. And the mayor of the colony is Harvey Dent. And then when you get the Two-Faced Man, it's a shadow that's pretending to be Bruce Wayne and is not Harvey Dent. So you got to wonder if like he'll take over Harvey Dent, or like in conjuring, in bringing up Two-Face, you got to assume that's going to have something to do with Harvey Dent at some point, since we have a Harvey Dent here.
Right.
But anyway, Chris, the dark matter idea is basically the morphin grid in this. So we're able to tap into an energy that has a light side and a dark side.
Okay.
And Batman So like the immortal legends, basically our Power Rangers,
Yeah.
have our Sentais have been passing down these mantles for generations. And so at the end of this, we find out who the original versions were, and they're all characters you've heard of.
Yeah.
What's weird is the originals are like newer, more who cares characters, and then the current ones are people you care more about.
Right, yeah.
So like the original Robin, I think, was Harper Row.
Okay, you know what? I'm cool with it, yeah.
And then now it's Tim Drake, I think. I don't know, it's weird.
Get to Dick Grayson sooner or later.
But the idea with it is Batman taps into full on the dark side of this energy.
Right.
And Robin uses the light side of it. And then there's a Nightwing
Okay.
that figures out how to use a combination of both.
Okay.
And so their power sets are supposed to be a little bit different because of that.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you have kind of a 3-man Power Ranger team dynamic.
That's cool.
Because Batman is off on his own through the start of this,
Mm-hmm.
but then we reveal at the end that there's a Nightwing and a Batman also, and this is what the costumes look like. Okay. And so you have a full-on Power Ranger team.
Yeah.
With these Batman characters, and then there's a big, I won't give it away, but there's a big reveal at the end of a character that you know who's who's kind of lurking in the background, wanting to take the power away from Batman, I think. And I kind of like the way that as a tokusatsu thing, it's retooling the idea of Batman as an urban legend.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks that Batman is immortal and not actually a person.
Right.
And then it turns out that he's not billionaire Bruce Wayne, but trillionaire Bruce Wayne.
Okay, you gotta keep up. You got inflation's going up.
So far, though, I adore this.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for more.
Everything
of
about
that.
it just sounds like my jam, too.
It's spectacular, especially if you happen to be a Power Ranger person.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Robin 3000 if it was entertaining, because I don't like that book, but it had kind of a cool aesthetic,
Right?
And it's also Batman set in the future.
Yeah.
This is that done right.
Right.
And it's really fun. Anyway, so finally, those are my books over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we skip a week.
Yeah.
I had so much built up. Chris, I'm sorry I had to do all that talking because you didn't bring anything.
It's all right. So you know what? It was a week.
You got to read comics,
I gotta
man.
read comics. Well,
We have those down here.
I have to check some of these out too. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
What do you have back here on the spinner rack?
What's this Wolverine? Yeah.
Nicholas Bodo, so is this life equation an anti-life equation? It's weird that they didn't call it that. So yeah, it isn't. But I guess it could have been.
I was just thinking too, Kirby did live just long enough to know about Power Rangers. And actually, Ditko wrote some Power Ranger books for a while.
He
drew
some.
them, yeah.
And they're the most phoned-in things you've ever seen.
Sometimes just
really
gotta get
bad.
the paycheck.
He needed a paycheck. That's exactly right. Okay, let's go ahead and get into now, Chris.
Yes.
Cover of the week from last week. And last week, hold on. So you've had the magic touch. It did not quite pay off this time.
Well,
I'm sorry to say. Because we're stuck talking about this. This is All New X-Men number 40. So this is a book recent enough that I may have talked about when it came out, or I might have been in my era of stacking up books and not getting to them.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on camera when it first came out, but this is the now somewhat notorious Iceman is gay issue. This is where they reveal that. So they have the X-Men from the past that Bendis brings into the future and then just kind of dicks around for a bunch of issues and doesn't do anything with.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's Bendis too, so it's gonna be
he never really gets into
a story.
If memory serves. Well, there's that, but also like how taking them out of the timeline really works and why it doesn't destroy the future.
Right.
And I never really understood that. I haven't read it in a long time. Maybe it makes sense and I'm just not remembering, but
It's been a while because I think I read like the first few issues and then kind of fell off too.
Yeah. I kept going with it.
Yeah, like
I liked it for a long time.
yeah, I mean,
He was doing those 2 books simultaneously. They crossed quite a bit.
and there were some interesting bits too. Like I kind of liked there was was it like Angel that went over to Cyclops' side who was like, because I remember how I think it was Angel who was like, hey Scott, well, if it's any consolation, I'm the only one who likes old you now. So, but yeah, I do want to say too that in this book, the reveal about Iceman, the reveal that Iceman is gay, was like the most Bendis way they could have revealed it, because it's Jean Grey going up to him and be like, hey Bobby, you're gay, and he'd be like, what? And her be like, yeah, you're gay. And be like,
thanks
no,
for
I'm
getting
not.
in my brain and
Yeah, I mean,
outing me. Well, I mean, not really. She doesn't tell
not really
anybody
out,
else.
yeah, she doesn't
but
out him, so at least that's,
She's
thank you for
basically
that
like-
discretion too.
She's basically like, did you know this about yourself? Because it's
Yeah.
kind of weird that the other you doesn't
Old
have
you
that.
isn't
and
gay, but like new you is gay, or young you is gay. It's
It read, and I don't want to get too much into
Yeah.
into the controversy with this, but I mean, it read to a lot of people like just a real forced way to make somebody like kind of like regularly relatively important and popular of that persuasion, just to get points. Like that's how a lot of people felt about it, and it's like this loophole thing because it's not the real Iceman exactly, and so
Yeah.
like you're not actually. And these days we'll just do it to anybody we feel like, but then he felt like he had to tiptoe around it, and the whole thing read very calculated to me.
Yeah,
we're at first of all, freaking nothing happens in this issue.
No, yeah.
That's the first thing. It's weird to read this in a vacuum.
Yeah,
because nothing happens, but like you get that reveal, and then later you have to have Angel making out with, who is he even dating in this? I wasn't even sure who that was.
Was it like
Is it X-23?
I think it was X-23. Yeah, I think that's who that was.
Is that actually who that is?
I think maybe I could be mistaken.
She's drawn weird. She doesn't even look
Yeah.
like herself to me. But anyway, so it just tell me if I'm being cynical.
Yeah, right.
It read to me very calculated, where it's like we got to try to appeal to everybody. So if we're gonna have to have this reveal, we've got to have a big heterosexual makeout session in the same issue. It didn't read that.
You
like,
need your
that
case
way
of the
to me.
not gays, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, here's the thing, like, I know for
Am I being unfair?
I know for some people, like, there were people who were split on it. There were folks who read it and thought, like, okay, they're actually taking a character that's important and making him, adding like a little bit of diversity. But then the other side, like, yeah, but they're kind of not to, because like mainline Iceman isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such like a, what it reminds me of?
It's walking on eggshells hard.
It's trying to, like, it's being very, I guess maybe it was like the time it came out too, where they're like, okay, we might want to have like a more diverse cast, but we also don't really want to.
Well, back then they were afraid of losing readers over this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now they don't seem to care if they do.
But you know what it kind of reminded me of? When DC announced they were making Green Lantern gay, and it was like Alan Scott.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you're taking this bold stance. You're having a character come out, and it's Green Lantern, and it's this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Hey,
Yeah.
So let me throw this at you.
Yeah.
Bendis is one of the few like big name comic writers that was not afraid to make up. How do you feel about Bendis?
Yeah.
Who was actually willing to make up new characters that might be popular.
Yeah.
And let Marvel have them and probably not get paid well enough for it.
Yes,
These days, most everybody, and this is why we get stuck in cycles.
Yes.
And we don't invent a lot of good new characters,
Yeah.
because the people that create them don't get to keep them, and then they don't get royalties for it. But
Yeah.
Bendis gave us Miles. He gave us Gold Balls. Like, he was not afraid to make up characters.
Exactly, yeah.
So the point I'm making is, if Bendis had to have a gay X-Man, he should have just made up a gay X-Man.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not the first person to say that,
Right.
but I want to drive home the point of especially Bendis, who was willing to make up characters.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. So Dan Schneider said Iceman is the most heterosexual Marvel character. Maybe not the most, but
Okay, well, I will say that,
says,
like, the one line I did, where it's like, he dated women, like, yeah, but not well. Like, you do, with this, going back and rereading a lot of, like, old Iceman stories, and be like, wow, this is a guy who just doesn't know how to be straight.
That's so revisionist, though.
It's with retrospect.
Let me finish reading this, though.
Yeah.
He says, if you want to make someone gay, literally any other character makes more sense. Well, the way Bendis tries to justify it is, and I feel like he's talking out of two sides of his face, because on the one hand, the idea is, I guess this is all we're talking about, but nothing else happens in this issue.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Like, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
But anyway, basically the idea is, this whole shaking the phone idea was a terrible idea. Well, I don't think we should ever do this again. Anyway, but on the one hand, he basically says Iceman has been overcompensating.
Right.
So because she comes to him right after he's making a big deal out of how hot Ileana Rasputin is.
Right.
And then she's like, I'm telepathic and I can tell that you're just overcompensating and you're pretending like you think she's hot, but really you're not into women.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you have this idea that the older Iceman is not of that persuasion, and they speculate as to why, and that it might be this. And I thought this was kind of heavy-handed, but the idea that well, he's both a mutant and gay, and he's living in a society where people don't accept either of those things. So it's easier to give up one than the other, which is maybe an idea that you could explore with some other character. But I just thought it was weird that on one hand they're saying like he's massively overcompensating, and on the other hand he's saying that like the character was always gay but like somehow gave it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot about this.
The whole thing is very awkward to me.
It's one of those that, I think it could have been better written. I mean, I think a lot of this, and Bendis is somebody who I know works in a very decompressed style regardless, and like sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but there's a lot that just kind of felt really just, I think it could have, if you're going to have a character come out, you could do it better than this. You could do it in a way that isn't, that addresses, I don't know, I'm trying to like, we're two straight dudes talking about gay characters on the, but I think it's just a way other than, hey, you're gay. That's what a lot of it just seemed. It just seemed like it kind of dropped here, and it just didn't seem like there's a story built around it. And I don't want to be like one of those guys.
But anyway you slice it, it also, like, the execution isn't great.
Yeah.
I don't think the idea is great.
Right.
Like, and I've always said you can make anything work, but there is always the question of motivation also.
Right.
Like, it feels like a calculated move where it's like, well, we want to do this to somebody who's it going to be, as opposed to we're exploring this character and all roads seem to be going here. It doesn't seem like that to me. It seems like he's a safe bet and is kind of It almost comes off like cannon fodder, where it's like we want to do this to somebody who, like who can we do this with that isn't gonna upset too many people, and like it's not gonna make anybody happy.
It's Iceman B.
Because
Iceman B.
The people that might be excited about this would say, well, you did it to a throwaway character,
right?
And the people that are not excited about this would say, well, you did it to a major character. You can't win.
Yeah.
Why bother?
Right.
Anyway, that's my feelings with it. Does anything else happen in this that you want to talk
really,
about?
no. Like, here's the weirdest thing, too. The most action I think we get is that little bit at the beginning, and then Maria Hill bang her head on the keyboard, you know? that
That's
little
true.
bit. That's probably the closest thing to like an action sequence we get.
Yeah, I mean, Bendis gets blamed a little bit for the decompressed, like no action kind of place we're at with Marvel now, and maybe somewhat rightly so.
Yeah.
Because everything we've been complaining about lately with Marvel is here in 2015.
Yeah, and like it worked to an extent in Ultimate Spider-Man because that was kind of, I don't want to say it was a selling point, but when it was coming out, they're like, yeah, it's a Spider-Man book where he doesn't show up in the costume until like issue 4.
Well, it was novel then,
Yeah.
and the writing was usually really good.
Yeah,
And
like
when you did get action, it was pretty excellent.
and it seems,
And it just that felt felt like written for trade as opposed to stalling.
yes, exactly, yeah, and like with Bendis too, it seems like I've always felt like he seems like a better solo book writer than like a team book writer. I mean, I haven't read much of his Avengers and like some of his X-Men stuff. Like I read like the first few issues of this and just kind of fell off. Not even really for like any particular reason other than, look, I'm just bad at like long form media anyway too. Everybody that knows me knows that if I start watching a TV show, I fall off around season 4.
That's further than I often get.
There you go. Yeah,
So well done.
But yeah, like it's hard to think of much else that happens in this issue.
Yep.
And the New Mutants show up at the end. You see Boom Boom. I like Boom Boom.
Is that the only way you're capable of saying that?
You gotta do Boom Boom.
Well, let's get past this, shall we? And
Yeah.
maybe you'll have more of the magic touch this time, Chris. We'll find out what we wind up with. Are you ready?
Yes. We're loading this up.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have had this up already.
Now you're good. It's a dramatic moment.
Chris is like, hurry up! Oh my god.
No, this is how we build tension. We're gonna see what we have. Everybody get excited for the book.
Are you ready to shake the phone?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here you
All
go.
right. We're shaking the phone. All right, we're loading.
I love that he always gets to see it before me. Uh-oh.
Star Trek Manifest Destiny.
Oh, weird. Okay. I'm not sure if we should do that. No one's going to care. No one's Why don't you shake the phone again?
We'll do this. We're going to read it. We're calling a mulligan on this one.
Most of the time, I'm not going to do that. But occasionally, if it's something I just know no one is going to care about.
Superman, Volume 5, the Unity Saga.
Oh, this is more recent, too. Again. You've lost your magic touch.
I've lost my magic touch. What can I say?
Okay, so this is from 2018. Adam Hughes with Ivan Reis. Let me look this up. Yes, I guess this will be our... Oh, crap. I just lost it.
I will say...
What number was that? Because I just lost it.
It was the Adam Hughes cover. That's all I remember offhand.
Crap. Hold on.
Do we need to do a threefer?
We may have to. Let's do one more because I was hoping we wouldn't get something so recent. I will not keep flipping the phone too often with these, but I want to do this one more time. Right. I want to see if we get something a little older.
Yeah.
I don't want to do Bendis Superman right after Bendis X-Men.
After we talk about Venom, Sinner Takes All.
Okay, this will be hilarious, won't it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is and this will be funny because it's like the last issue of a miniseries too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty great. Yes. So this is one of the crappy Venom minis from the mid-90s.
Yes.
I own all of this nonsense, and let me. This is exciting.
I do want to give a shout to Brandon Atkinson, who or Braden, I guess that's how Yes, that book does need more punching. It absolutely needed more punching.
So that's number 4. I kind of wish we were doing 3, because that's actually a somewhat valuable issue. I've got that.
I just saw your copy over there.
I was going to say I got it in my notebooks with my more high dollar stuff.
Right.
I almost want to cheat and do that one.
Yeah.
Instead, but this is what came up on the phone. Mm-hmm. So that's what we got to do next time. So that is cover of the week, Chris. Let me remind everybody once again, we've got just a couple more segments left, that if you want to pick the book that we're talking about for next time, leave us a super chat, and if you're the winner for super chats tonight, you'll get to do that. Chris, and you can pick anything from the last few years. Let's real briefly go through the DC KO thing.
Yes.
So Dan Mora is doing a variant cover that is spoiling for us already who all of the contenders are going to be in the KO event. So they're doing this like fighting game bracket thing. And I learned more about this today. Apparently the idea is the last man standing will get this power set that will make him or her able to fight Darkseid.
Right.
I guess is what the whole idea is supposed to be. And it's supposed to be real Superman-centric, like I said earlier, where he's afraid of going against his moral code and going along with this whole thing, which is a good angle.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Snyder is smart to make it more about Superman than Batman. So I'm glad we're doing that. But I thought we could just look at this and see who our fighting game characters are going to be.
Okay. Who our mains are.
Here's what our roster is going to be, and it doesn't look like a bad roster to me. So you've got, and I think this actually lists out somewhere who the characters are in case there's anybody that we're struggling with. So that's good. I guess that's probably Power Girl up to the left, right? Yeah. So we got Power Girl, Superman, Lex Luthor, Supergirl, and then you got Damian Wayne Robin, Batman, Red Hood, Batwoman. Look at the.
Is that Plastic Man there?
Yeah. Look at this headband that Plastic Man
is
wearing.
Headband.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then is that going to be Aquaman?
Like Aquaman,
He's wearing a weird shirt.
Yeah.
Naturally, Harley Quinn's got to be there, of course. Or these days, I just feel the need to say Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn is not Harley Quinn. It has not been for a while.
Somebody posted a picture. You remember when they renovated the Sistine Chapel? And they got like some like amateur who just smudged the whole thing. People said that's basically Harley Quinn like the last 20 years.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things about White Knight is that she's split into two characters.
Right. Yeah.
And then we got Lobo. That's cool.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Lobo.
Metamorpho, because he's in a Superman movie, so he matters now.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman Swamp Thing is a little bit surprising to see.
Always surprised, happy to see Swamp Thing.
That's cool. Firestorm, who's not gotten a lot of love lately, I don't think.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
He was in the Flash TV show, so you know.
And Black Lightning, who is a character that I feel like nobody really cares about, but will occasionally show up in things.
Yeah.
Guy Gardner. You know why? Because he's in Superman.
He's in Superman, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have Giganta. That's who that's supposed to be. Yeah. Captain Atom. Some of these are a little bit surprising.
Jay Garrett of all the Flashes.
Yeah. Didn't he have a book recently?
I'm not sure.
Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. There's some Flash thing that people were not real happy with, and I think that might have been him. I can't remember. Cheetah is there. Cyborg, Big Barda.
Big Barda.
Well, and that's not super surprising. She's in Birds of Prey again right now.
Yeah.
She keeps showing up and stuff.
I mean, look, I'm always excited for Big Barda, so...
And then we've got Connor Hawke.
Wow.
That's a little surprising.
I was about to say.
This whole row. Connor Hawke, Starfire, Vixen.
Yeah.
And Zatanna.
You know what? I'm cool with it. I'm down.
Like, of those four, I might have expected Zatanna more than anybody else.
Yeah.
But, like,
and
that's
Connor Hawke, of all people, too. Like, I haven't been keeping up with anything Green Arrow, but, like...
Yeah, has he been involved in stuff lately?
1994 is back. Well, I know we said before how, like, the writers that are writing for Marvel now are, like, folks our age. So you're seeing, like, Bid Riley and Connor Hawke come back, too.
You mean DC, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you know.
King Shark, Hawkman, Etrigan. Freaking
Starro.
Etrigan, man. Yeah. And Starro, which is fun. But that...
Gotta see some rhymes in this book.
So, the thing that I'm noticing that's kind of most surprising about this is that they're mostly heroes.
Yeah.
With only the occasional villain. And actually the villains are even questionable where it's like Lex Luthor has been on Team Superman a lot lately.
Yeah.
So he's probably not here because he's a villain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's probably being more or less heroic, or at least kind of more anti-heroic.
Lobo
and, like,
just kind of does his own thing most of the
yeah,
time.
Harley Quinn goes back and forth a lot. Like,
Yeah.
so why the hell is Starro here? Like, has Starro been a hero lately? Like, that's weird. Like, the more I'm looking at this, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not a villain roster. These are
Right.
all heroes except for like 3.
Yeah. Well, Starro was in a movie with like Harley Quinn and King Shark too. Recently.
Right, that's true, too.
Yeah, the gun universe is coming right for her.
That's true too. So I don't want to do like a full-on roster or whatever, but I'm going to ask you 2 questions.
Yes.
Superficial, dumb, nerdy kind of questions.
All right. Yep.
He's all ready for
Look,
it.
I've been watching my death battle. I know what's up.
The first one is, if this were a video game, having no idea, of course, what the movesets are and I like how well the powers are scaled and stuff, who do you think would likely to be your main?
Oh, I mean, look, if we're gonna be honest, I'd see Batman and be like, I want to be Batman. But I mean, I like a character that can do cool electric stuff. So I mean, look, Black Panther. Oh my God, Black Lightning.
Black Panther is my favorite Lightning character.
I feel racist just even saying that. I'm so sorry, everybody. But no, Black Lightning and Raiden have the same power set in the Injustice game, so I played a lot of them. Look, Barda. You've got like a good magic person. I imagine like Zatanna might have some cool spell.
Oh sure.
I mean, imagine like having Plastic Man in a fighting game. I don't think he was in any of the Injustice games.
No.
Yeah, so
No, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Injustice 3 just got leaked. Apparently that is happening. So maybe we'll get Plastic Man there.
Maybe.
And every character that was in Superman.
Ed Boon, if you're watching.
Expect Metamorpho to show up
exactly.
in Injustice 3.
But, you know, I like the Green Lantern folks. I mean, I'd probably go with Geiger too, you know? I think I gave like 5
You just named like a quarter of
I know,
the
I just named Hey, which character do I main? All of them, because I'm a pro.
So I kind of want to play as Starro, but then I'm worried that it would play too much like Sumer Grath, that I was terrible with Sumer Grath.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm thinking, maybe King Shark, but I don't play real great with lumbering characters.
Types.
Usually.
I feel like if you're going to do something like that, like Swamp Thing would at least give you a little variety. You have a bigger character, but he can still do some zoning.
Yeah, in Injustice anyway, the characters that I was always best with were like Bat family female characters.
Yeah.
So I played really well with Black Canary, and I did okay with Catwoman.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, and it's kind of weird not to see Catwoman here, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by a few of the characters that are missing.
Right.
But I'm thinking I'd probably play best with a Batwoman or maybe even like Star Sapphire.
Yeah.
And then my other question is, who do you think is most likely to go all the way and end up with the dark side defeating power? And is it any of the quarter of people that you've named?
Yeah, exactly.
Already?
My first thought was the person who's going to go to the end. It's got to be Superman. If it's a Superman story,
especially if it's his story. Yeah,
he's going to go to the end. He's going to be the Liu Kang.
Unless he sacrifices himself.
Oh,
so
that's true.
I just had that thought. He probably goes toe to toe. He goes all the way.
Yeah.
He goes toe to toe with somebody at the end.
Right.
And for some reason, in his worry that he's going against his own moral code, he ends up giving up and letting. For some reason, it ends up letting somebody else go to the end of it. Here's my prediction.
Right.
It will come down between Superman and Lex, and he lets Lex win, and Lex takes the whole thing.
I can see that.
That's my prediction.
That's a good guess. Let's see. You know what? Lobo versus Darkseid. That's what I want. That's what I want. There we go. This is my dream matchup here.
Like, I don't see Snyder shocking us with like the least popular character here.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Like, it's not gonna be Starro at the end. It's not gonna be Star
Starro.
Sapphire. It's not gonna be Vixen.
King Shark, your moment is now.
You can kind of guess some of the mulligans that you say like the pawns go for. Like you can kind of guess who some of those characters
exactly.
would be.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's gotta be.
I don't think Swamp Thing's going all the way.
Swamp Thing's not going all the way. You know what? Swamp Thing, Apocalypse. That's money on the table. Where's that pitch? DC, if you're watching, First of all the nice things we've said about you compared to Marvel, please.
Nicholas Bodo, Lex winning would be awesome. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I think Lex goes all the way.
Yeah. And like,
Because Snyder will think that's the last thing anybody expects.
yeah, they were predicting this right now.
It's one of those things where some fans wouldn't think of it, but if you start thinking about it,
It makes sense.
that's kind of the obvious thing
You
to do.
need to have, again, it comes down to like
If it's
Superman
written
Lex.
well, I'm not even going to complain
yeah,
that
exactly.
I've called this. That's how I would write it.
You know, we've talked about, we've said nice things about Snyder in the last few shows too. I mean, especially since
Well, Absolute's so good.
Absolute's so good too. Somebody said Swamp.
Yeah, Austin says Etrigan, and then, I don't know, Cap Swamp Thing, he fights everything. Would you stop that? He fights everything!
Nasty.
Yep.
Oh.
Did I miss a super chat? Dan Schneider. Tell us super chat. Claremont Bobby is super pervy with 80s mischief. Yeah, Dan Schneider, but he's just overcompensating so that nobody knows that he's homosexual.
I will say, everybody in Claremont books are super pervy. Claremont was a man who had needs.
Tyler Williamson is co-writing the event. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's
wow.
cool.
Yeah,
He's been doing pretty well lately.
Yeah.
So the Lex prediction tracks. He's in an interesting place right now. Joshua Williamson is a guy that several years ago I would have said they're grooming to look like A-list talent, but probably never will be. That is one that I will concede has made it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few who were,
and maybe I was wrong about Tinian. Maybe he has. Joshua Williamson, without a doubt, in my mind, is at that level now.
He's a writer that was always kind of in the wings too, and I think DC just gave him just opened the door for him too.
I also have a bias because that's my real last name.
That's fair.
So I've always been rooting for that guy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like whenever I see a guy named Cole, it's like, all right, yes, all the famous Coles in comics, like.
Austin, yeah, that's right. He's also doing Skybound's G.I. Joe, which
Yeah.
I've heard great things about.
I need to actually.
So he's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
I might skip ahead and read the last few issues of Superman just to see what's happening with Lex right now. To see if I've got more fuel for my guess here.
I'm just reading this. Apparently, Jim Carrey was supposed to be Plastic Man.
Yes.
It was. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that's the obvious pick.
We live in a
at
fallen
that time.
world. We never got that.
I guess. I mean, I love Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
but he got picked for so many really obvious roles.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember hearing somewhere where he said he would never do a sequel. He was basically retired until a great script could pull him out of it.
Right.
And then
he just did Sonic 3.
Yeah, did Sonic 3.
But we all knew he would.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go ahead and finally get into Geiger.
Yes.
Are you ready to talk about not this book?
I'm ready to talk about the other Geiger. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we say it's the same.
It's the same book.
Creative team, but it's the same character. But that is the ongoing sequel to the initial miniseries. Let me bring this up real quick. Sorry, bear with me for a second.
Yeah.
Because I lost it at some point.
Oh yeah.
Geiger. Here we go. Okay, Chris.
Yes.
So this comes out in. How you doing? Are you good?
I'm great. I'm having a great time.
Are you about to fall asleep yet?
No, I'm still up.
Oh, sorry. We're done talking about this thing. Okay, so Geiger is like I said from Geoff Johns' Image imprint called Mad Ghost, and this starts in 2021.
Yeah,
and like I said, I think it reads very much like a Vertigo book.
I can see that. Yeah.
And this was I think just after Vertigo went under, or maybe a couple 3 years after that. I forget.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he had stayed at DC, this is either a Vertigo book or it's a Black Label book.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the concept where it's a superhero in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I mean, we've talked before about taking two things, kind of mash them up. I think it's kind of an interesting idea, having the post-apocalyptic genre and then putting in Superman.
Yeah. Kinda.
Yeah, I say Superman just as a general placeholder superhero name.
Yeah, what I like about this is it's sort of superhero.
Yeah.
but it's very pulp hero.
Very pulp hero.
With the framing device, we make a big deal out of this character being sort of a legend.
Yeah.
Because
it starts with like a campfire story too. That's the framing. Right. Yeah.
So right out the gate, let me just say, it was nice to see Geoff Johns without like any other like editorial or any kind of a net. Like, I've never really read anything from him outside of DC.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. I can't really think of any like creator-owned stuff that I know of from him, because the earliest thing I can think of that he did was JSA.
Mm-hmm. So it was just cool to see him I don't know if I want to say his major hallmarks or anything, but I felt like I recognized a little bit in this from some of the best Geoff Johns that I've read.
Yeah.
But I will say, if I didn't know it was him, he disappears decently well in this. Like, knowing it was him, I was looking for stuff.
Right.
But this is just a real super competent comic book.
Yeah.
I don't even know how else to describe it. It's just really nice to go back and see something that, like, this feels fresh and original enough.
Yeah.
But it's also just what you would expect if somebody was allowed to create a brand new character at a DC or a Marvel.
Right.
And just roll. Like, I was getting real, like, Resurrection Man vibes.
Yeah.
And, like Constantine, that kind of thing. Not even from premise, but just attitude and pacing.
Yeah. And, like, a lot of it, too, you get a lot of... Again, it's like a superhero in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and you get kind of what... You get the promise of the premise. Like, you get... Basically, he goes to New Vegas. He has a mutant dog. There's roaming marauder gangs and there's like a fight where they're all driving too. I mean, there's a lot of tropes too that Hesser has fun with, and that I think don't feel out of place.
You're right. It is just a blend of a bunch of different things,
and that's not a bad thing too.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The world building is real solid.
Mm-hmm.
He's confident in where he's going. Like he's. I like the way Johns is establishing his world in. I always really appreciate this device.
Yeah.
In bringing up stuff that we might not see for issues down the road, and just putting pins and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he'll start name dropping stuff that you don't know about yet, or he'll do a big character reveal and you're like, well, this is a new book, I have no idea who this is.
Yeah.
And you're like I'm always confident that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that he's planned all this out.
Right.
And it feels like a real established, lived in sort of world.
Yeah.
And you're right, like, it's got the Mad Max components, and it's got a lot of Fallout, and comic book wise, let me tell you the 3 books this read like a mashup of to me. And tell me if you think I'm out to lunch with this. This is, now obviously it's not a zombie apocalypse. It's post-apocalyptic, it's nuclear fallout. Hilarious, let me say this real quick too. It was very strange reading this the day after I saw the Toxic Avenger reboot.
Yes.
Because he's very Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
In that...
Somebody see his trauma movies, too.
Yeah, he's... and I don't even know that it's directly inspired by that at all.
Right.
But it reminds me specifically of the new one, because he gets his toxic powers... And he can. I'm not saying that Toxic Avenger can exactly turn them off and on like this guy does.
Right.
But
this guy's rods.
But he doesn't have to, which is a super cool device. But he doesn't have to worry about like nuclear fallout when he's around other people.
Yeah.
Unless he goes too hot, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was really odd reading this right after that.
Yeah.
This read like, and when I say this first thing, I mostly just mean in. the survival aspects and in not being able to trust anybody in a world where everybody's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
It's Walking Dead. More just thematically the way characters are acting, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Meets Old Man Logan.
Yes, yeah, I can see that.
Meets Klaus.
Okay. I'm cool. I need to actually still finish Klaus too. Like I've read little bits of the.
So he's a he's a roaming hero.
Yeah.
Who has a pet dog.
Yes.
Well, he's got a wolf.
Yeah, a two-headed wolf
that attacks people.
Yeah.
For him and is kind of his best friend, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he is the people that he's most concerned with helping are children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he is this larger than life legend that everybody wonders if he really exists.
Yeah.
That people kind of look up to and think maybe he's the hope for the world. Like it's Klaus.
Right.
And that's partly why I said
I can see that. Yeah.
I don't know if I would have caught that it was John's if I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of Morrison in this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And like. The one thing too, one of the little bits that I really liked. Wait, is this the bookshelf where he's?
Yeah, there's this cool motif that runs through this where he's sick of all the books that he's read.
Yeah,
because he's been doing this for 20 years and he's got all these books.
He's read them all like 5 times.
So he keeps asking people when he runs into them if they have any books.
Yeah,
he'll beat up a bad guy and be like, "Okay, do you have any books that I can steal?" It's
great.
There's
even like a part where he's like, "All right." Goes up to like was it when he saves the boy where there's like the guy guarding the cell and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you." By the way, is that book any good?
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that reminded me of Klaus is that his arch nemesis is a narcissistic like monarch.
Yeah.
Who's just a petulant child that wants everything and wants it right now.
Yeah.
That's also Klaus.
Right. Have you... So I actually read... We're on our comic show. I'm about to talk about prose book for a second. I actually just read that book, The Postman.
Oh, okay.
The David Brin book.
Yeah, I've never read that.
Which, now, part of that was because I started playing Death Stranding, and...
I just can't believe you know how to read. That's
I know,
amazing.
yeah, I'm shocked, too. Well, also is an audiobook, so I'm not going to talk. But yeah, you also saw in that book where the villains were trying to rebuild like a feudal system, and you had like different fiefdoms that they were building up. And here, I mean, that was very much, their Las Vegas, where everybody's in like tunics and doublets and stuff like that.
And we do this a lot where the world ends and then we kind of regress to earlier periods.
Yes.
We'll go back to the Dark Ages or some earlier period.
Yeah.
And I thought that was handled really well with this because I like that it kind of depends on where you go.
Right.
Like not everybody's doing all of the same things.
Yeah.
Bits of Walking Dead have that.
Yeah, exactly. And even like going to like Fallout 2 where you have like your Roman groups. And again, Las Vegas being like this huge I guess they even plays in like the history of Las Vegas too, where it was like this weird oasis. It was originally just like a stop for like GIs on their way through the desert. And
seems like a lot of post-apocalyptic really likes doing Vegas.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember if Old Man Logan does Vegas or if it just has like an area that's like Vegas.
Yeah,
I forget.
yeah.
And then
it's been years since I've read Old Man Logan.
And then again, this and Fallout both do it.
Yeah. But again, too, I do like the imagery of you have like the Renfest dudes hanging out in the casino.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's parts of the book that are like visually interesting, and again, like the one thing, even going to like the idea where he's this urban legend, how whenever people meet him, they're like, "I thought you were like 15 feet tall."
Well, and there's this great, I don't know. The craft of storytelling is super strong with this.
Yeah.
This Geoff Johns, like he's a veteran, and we all know that he's got a good
right.
that he's got a good grasp on storytelling most of the time.
Most of the time.
He's been a little hit and miss for me, but
same.
sometimes he comes in and he just doesn't care.
Yeah. And I was gonna say
this is his own thing. He's building it from the ground up.
Yeah.
One of the things he does with this that I really appreciate is this mystery. There's actually several mysteries with Geiger in his past and how he came to be the way he is, where. And I don't feel like we're teased too much about it. I feel like the revelations come when they should, when they're most relevant.
Right.
He is. We're constantly wondering, what exactly happened to his family. That's one big thing.
Yeah,
and
that's a reveal.
He's a wonderfully tragic protagonist with one of the better tragic backstories for a superhero I've seen in a long time.
Right.
There's a real nice something's in a box. What's in the box? We're waiting for that to get open.
Yeah.
It's like take note, J.J. Abrams. This is how you do mystery box.
This is how you do the mystery box.
So there's that mystery, and then there's the mystery as to why he's able to breathe out in the nuclear fallout.
Yes.
When everybody else has to wear suits.
Yeah.
And we get real concrete answers to all of those things eventually. And one of the things that keeps you reading is you're wondering what the answers to those mysteries are.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is just he's a real original, compelling, sympathetic character.
Yeah.
This kind of thing is real easy to accidentally get generic with, and this instantly feels like a classic sort of character to me. Like, if this had been introduced at a DC or Marvel, this could be a new major hero. Like absolutely.
Right.
Partly because his tragic backstory is so compelling, and he is a real hero that's out to help people.
Yeah.
But he's got a real edge to him, and partly because he's got a real great look.
Yes.
He basically. He's got a battle mode. He basically gets to morph. You see here, he's got a cool outfit even when he's not all nuclear powered up. But he's got these rods in him that kind of double as weapons, right? So he's got these rods that stick in his back that he has to, these like isotope rods that he has to keep in him so that he won't basically turn into a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And he can pull those out, and then he's got a certain amount of time that he can stay in his like nuclear battle mode.
Yeah.
Where he's got a cool skeleton head.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a really neat look. You want an action figure of this. Like immediately.
Yeah, you know what I thought of when I was reading this too? I forget the sorry to interrupt, but the name of the movie. The British title was like Danny the Dog. I can't think of that Jet Li movie with like Bob Hoskins as like his handler, where he had the collar that he wore. I'm trying to remember the actual name of it. I can't think of it now. But as soon as you pull the collar off, he has to like kill everybody in the room too with kung fu. It was sort of that gimmick too, where you had the limiter. You had the one thing that keeps them at bay, and then when you remove that, things get real. And then, like at the end where he's captured and the villain's like, hey, where are these rods? So, and on top of it too.
Well, that's a ticking time bomb where the whole time you're like, it's sort of like the arc reactor with Iron Man.
Yes.
Keeping that at bay. Like at some point that's gonna fail.
Yes.
And so you're waiting for that to happen. So there's a lot of good ticking time bombs and things and mysteries that keep you going. So there's like, what exactly is he gonna find if he opens the vault?
Yeah.
That's one thing. I'm trying not to give too much away.
No,
that's one thing. And then the other thing is, when is this system that keeps the atomic explosion at bay going to break down?
Yeah.
Because that's not sustainable.
Right.
Like at some point that's not going to work out. Like these rods can break.
Yeah.
And that's got to happen at some point.
It's got to happen at some point. Yeah.
So you're waiting for that to happen. I'm going to say take note again. take note, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
Because this is the spawn clock handled correctly.
Right.
Also, I don't know if you had that thought.
Yeah, I didn't even
But
think about that. But
it's like you've got
that was a literal ticking time bomb too.
Yeah, and it's not exactly the same thing, but it's a similar idea in that you can only use your power so much or so often.
Yeah.
And this has a concrete sense of how far would be too far.
Yeah.
And again, without giving away too much, we'll kind of see that play out.
Yeah, and I mean the one thing too about this book is you do have. I mean, there's always that lingering sense that things can go real bad real quickly because they do. I mean, the first couple issues, all of like the major protagonists, we realize we get a taste of just how bad their lives suck.
Yeah.
And like the longer the series goes on, it's like, wow, this I didn't think it could get any worse. But even with Geiger's origin too, I mean, this is a guy who was trapped out of a fallout shelter, trying to save his family, and he gets hit by a nuke. And a little bit of a spoiler here: the only reason that he survives is because he's on chemo.
That's the other thing that reminded me of the new Toxic Avenger movie is that thank you for reminding me about that. That was the other big thing is that that character and Geiger are both like terminally ill cancer patients.
Yeah.
And the nuclear fallout saves them.
Yeah.
It cures their illness, ironically.
I gotta see the new Toxic Avenger so bad.
Yeah, that happens there too.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to talk about this without giving too much away.
Yeah.
When you read this, you'll understand what I mean, and this is all I'm going to say about this. This cover, retroactively, is the saddest thing I've ever seen. It hurts my feelings, Chris.
I just realized what it is right now. It's like, oh no, I glanced
Takes your breath away, man.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
and,
it's rough.
like, here's the thing. I was reading this,
It's hard to look at. It bothers me.
Yeah, no. And here's the thing. I was reading it on. Let's take it away.
Let's take it away.
This
I can't do it.
This is a friendlier skull.
I'm a crime. Yeah, I can't even deal with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing too. Because I kind of blew past some of the covers too. I was just reading this on my laptop.
Oh, sure.
And so going back and actually looking at what those are, it's like, oh no.
Yeah, really good, I'd say perfect balance maybe of like entertaining action. There's a decent amount of levity in this given how grim this world is.
Yeah.
And just real like tough, heavy, dramatic stuff.
Yeah. And the one thing too about this book that, again, I haven't read like a whole lot of.
Like, it feels like it should be more relentless than it is.
Yeah.
But it is a real fun read.
It is, yeah. And there's punching.
But
There's punching. Yes.
No, it's got everything you want in action superhero comic book.
Exactly, yeah. But another thing too is, again, like, I haven't read like a whole lot of. I can't think of like any like original Geoff Johns books I've read other than this.
Yeah.
And I think him finally getting to, because this is 2001, right?
No, 21.
21. Okay, I keep forgetting that it's actually 20 years later.
This is 4 years old.
Yeah, I meant to say 21. I just can't get over the fact that it's already like 2025. But I think seeing Geoff Johns do something that isn't a pre-existing IP and actually seeing him get to spread his wings a little bit and seeing him do something that isn't bound to like a New 52 or like a Watchmen or something like that, where he can actually do his own thing and build like his own stuff from the ground up. That's been refreshing for me too.
But it's also important to note that he could have been burnt out with all of that, to where even getting to do his own thing, he wouldn't have the command of storytelling he's had in the past.
Yeah.
This is the best structured story I think I've ever read from him.
Yes, I would agree with that too. I mean, I think just being able to... I think this is just him finally getting to be I don't want to say it's him finally getting to be a writer, but I think it's him finally getting to kind of show just actually what his skill level is too.
Well, and to prove that he's like actually improved over the years, not
Yeah.
just that he's still got it,
Yeah.
but I like this feels like the culmination of a lot of years of work to
Yeah.
me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know. It deeply impressed me, Chris. Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you have any issues with this? Like, I'm not even really sure what I would change.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I would maybe complain a little bit about. This is so minor, but about like you've got the framing device where,
Yeah.
like you said, there's people talking about this around a campfire,
right.
and then I keep forgetting about the framing device because we'll have flashbacks inside of what is essentially flashbacks.
Yeah.
I'm never the biggest fan of that, but I was won over on the framework of it by the end.
Right.
Because I think you need that to drive home the idea of this is a fable or a legend.
And I think
It's got the 300 thing.
it does, yeah, and that was probably the one thing that did throw me off too, because like at some point I'm reading this and it's like, okay, wait, which timeline are we in? Wait, how did this guy's face get burnt? How did
Yes.
this little prince, how does his face melt?
Yeah, at first I didn't realize that had happened in the past.
Yeah.
When we get into the king of Las Vegas.
Yes.
Like having an initial confrontation with Geiger, because I was thinking at first that like he's on his way to go get Geiger,
Yeah.
and he seems like he really wants to take this guy out for some reason. I thought at first it was just either bragging rights or just so that he wouldn't be a threat to his kingdom.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that, without giving too much away, he's got a vendetta. He
Yeah.
wants to get revenge on Geiger
Right.
for ruining his face. We don't know exactly how that happens until we get this flashback.
Yeah.
And then he messes his face up, and I'm like, oh, that's
That's how it happened.
that's
yeah.
how that happened. And I think what throws you off with it is that the king has a mask he wears over his face that makes
Yeah.
it look like his face wasn't ruined
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. And I think he's wearing that when he goes there, so I didn't realize that scene took place earlier.
And like
but anyway,
when you first meet,
we're getting a little bit too
when
much
you
in the
first
weeds,
meet the
but-
king, his face is like relative is fine, and then he comes back. And it's like
Then we
wait,
have a
wait,
reveal with it.
Then we have the reveal with it too. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, was he wearing like a mask at the beginning, or is he wearing this mask now? So it was easy to get like a little like turned around and lose your place a little bit just at the timeline.
But I gotta say, I was real sucked into this.
Yeah,
And it tickled certain sensibilities for me because on the one hand I am a little bit tired of post-apocalyptic,
Yeah,
but it's some of the kind of post-apocalyptic I really like because I'm a big old man Logan fan, and I felt at home with that, and the places that it reminded me of Walking Dead was in a good way.
yeah.
And I like, again, the line it's walking between a pulpy kind of thing and mainstream modern superhero.
Yeah.
Like, it does feel like it does both of those things really well. This is absolutely a pickup for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm buying this in trade or if I'm going to go back and actually try to get the singles. This is a thing I definitely want to collect in some way.
It's a solid. I mean, I was kind of surprised how solid of a book it was too.
More so
And-
even than some of the absolutes we talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonder Woman eventually I want.
Right.
Because I really loved that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like this I gotta have this is in a Klaus realm for me. Where
Right,
like
right.
I have to own this in some way or another.
Yeah, no, for
And
sure.
honestly, with the premise and the covers, I wasn't really expecting that with it. I thought I would read
Yeah.
this and likely enjoy it, but wouldn't have to have it.
This
This one I gotta have.
This is one of the few books I've actually gone into like relatively sight unseen. Like,
It's fun to have that experience when
It
it's
is.
good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so much information out there about everything now, so it's rare to actually have that experience. So, like, all right, I have a vague idea of what this might be just from like the title and the folks involved. So going in and having that fresh experience was kind of, I think, really enhanced this for me too. And the fact that it's just like solid storytelling too, from, again, like Geoff Johns is somebody who, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I've liked from him, I've really liked from him. There's a lot of stuff I really haven't from him. Like I know I've said before that I'm on board with like the rainbow cores and the lanterns. So
Yeah, me too. I think we've just had a dearth lately of like actual heroic superheroes.
yes,
And
yes.
we like either our full-on anti-heroes or we have heroes that are ostensibly heroic, but
Yeah.
I don't think they actually have a real morality.
Right.
And this guy is certainly violent,
Yeah.
and he's not like Superman altruistic.
Yeah.
But he is inspiring.
He's
And I like
Yeah.
his dynamic. We didn't really talk about this, but I like his dynamic as a surrogate father with
Yeah.
the children that he rescues.
Right.
I think they're really good characters.
Yeah.
I it's really hard to talk about this without giving stuff away.
I know. Yeah.
I felt really bad for. I'll talk about this cryptically.
Yeah.
Hold on. Apologies. I've been having these sneezing fits the last few days.
Yeah.
So hopefully I don't go into this giant sneezing fit all of a sudden. But I have a stupid temperature thing where when the temperature dips, I'll just go into these sneezing fits.
Yeah.
So like it's not even related to like pollen or allergies or anything. It's
Right.
just temperature.
Just temperature.
That's why I'm bundled up right now.
Then like
'cause
the air
if
pressure starts
I
changing
show,
too.
yeah, if I have any skin exposed right now, I'll just start sneezing.
Yeah.
I'm doing it anyway.
Right.
Hold on. Sorry, it's gonna be like this for a little while, folks. What was I talking about?
Yeah. I'm just looking here. I think Austin just asked if he was working
Yeah, I
on
was
the
gonna mention
Stargirl
that in a
show.
minute, but
Yeah.
do you remember what the heck I was talking about?
We're just talking about how he was.
I was trying to
yeah,
finish
you were
up the way.
talking. You're about to ready to go into semi-cryptically going into one of the
Oh, thank
some
you.
of the kid
Yeah.
stuff too.
So I felt really bad for the girl
yeah.
when she finds out what's going on with her brother.
Yes. Yeah.
That was paid off really nicely.
right.
Where like he's real low energy and
Yeah.
she's kind of mean to him about it.
Yeah.
And then when she
yeah.
finds
He
out why,
yeah.
boy, I felt really bad for her.
And she's
But-
like, I thought you were just being a brat. I'm so sorry. And again, too, like, yeah, it's a violent book. He's kind of a violent hero, but it's at least more optimistic, at least more forward kind of looking than like
yeah,
it's in, even if it's through like that post-apocalyptic lens, like it balances like the two genres I think very well too. And again, like you can have when you have that particular genre, you do run the risk of just everybody being terrible and not always in a fun way.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, at least this book kind of made the effort to be like, okay, here's at least a few folks who don't suck. Here's a few folks who don't, which you don't always get in like these kind of stories.
And I like
too.
my main character instantly.
Yes,
like
yeah.
instantly. The dynamic with him and the kids reminds me of the Space Ghost dynamic in the pre-pose book.
Yeah.
If it was in a world that was even a lot bleaker than that.
Yeah. And even like what was it, Joe Kelly that did?
But there's a much more tragic element to that whole thing.
Yes. And I do kind of like
fatherhood is a really important theme in this.
right, and like family, especially considering everything with Geiger's family too, which we are not
And
going
just
to...
just the loneliness of if you lose your family and you find yourself on your own, what is even the thing that drives you forward that, that keeps you going?
Even before they have the big reveal where it's just the bunker, like when he's going up and being like, "Daddy's gotta go, you're okay."
I'm not saying I gotta have this, but how interesting were the Mad Max section? How interesting would it be to see this character cross over with Batman? Like, I just kind of wonder
he
what that
does
would even
look
look
quite
like.
a bit like a couple Batman villains, actually, if you count Batman Beyond.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Sure, but he's got a lot in common with Batman.
He does, and especially with like the found family aspects too, where he just like gathers orphans.
Yeah, that's a great
Gathers
point
orphans.
too. But I'm excited to read the ongoing.
Yeah,
because I didn't know I was going to latch onto this like I did. Now there's 17 more, and that's exciting. So, did you like this as much as I did?
I mean, I think I enjoyed it too. Like, I'm not sure if I liked it as much as you did because you seem to have really latched on.
Yeah, I really latched onto him.
But it is. I was kind of surprised.
I might just be starved for original stuff.
That's fair. That's fair.
And just like more than competent storytelling.
Yeah.
Like this is the kind of thing that I used to expect more from a DC and a Marvel.
Right.
And we're not getting much of this at all there.
Yeah.
So that probably elevates it. Like this probably feels like even a better book to me than it is, just because.
And I think the fact that
stuff's been so lacking.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it is so. Like,
it makes me annoyed at myself for not reading more creator-owned stuff.
Yeah, and like. Again, too, like, this is probably, as far as I can think of, the only, like, Geoff Johns, like, creator-owned book that I can even think of.
Right.
And, again, like, a lot of his DC stuff has been, some of it's been great, some of it not so much. So seeing him actually being able to build something competent from the ground up, and even if it is having fun with a lot of tropes of the genre, I mean, I was really kind of impressed by that too, and really I went in with like quite literally zero expectations, like, and I was pleasantly surprised.
It is just bizarre to me that this is not a DC book.
Yeah.
Like it really looks like it should be a Vertigo.
Yeah.
Dan Schneider, you've won the night for Super Chats. You're the only one that left any. So you decide what we read for next time. And we'll wait a little bit and see what you select. If he's... I think he's still here. If he's not, we'll see if he leaves a comment later. And if he doesn't, we're doing Radiant Black, Chris. Because I really want to read that. And if Dan Schneider, if you don't have an idea and you want one, I want to review Radiant Black.
Yeah.
But I'll review anything
Yeah.
that is recent enough the last few years. Austin were the best era for creator-owned. I keep hearing that, and honestly, I'm kind of overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
There's so many things that I find myself kind of... I don't know. I don't know if I'm a hypocrite or what, but like I feel like I have a hard time not go. I'll look at that in a second.
Yeah.
I have a hard time not going to the usual suspects. Because there's so much original stuff, and I don't know what's good or what's even going to appeal to me. Because a lot of it is just horror stuff that's not my bag.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I kind of thought this was going to be that, and then it wasn't. It was a lot more superhero than I thought.
Right.
Which is and like a hero that actually sort of has a cool costume.
Yeah.
Or at least a cool look. So I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah.
But I'll keep complaining that all the superhero stuff that I love is not very good. But there's all these other good things happening. There's like a renaissance happening over here.
Exactly.
And I just don't know what to look at.
You know, I think it was even like Robert Kirkman, he flat out admitted, like people said that his like Ultimate X-Men books were bad, and he was like, yeah, because I don't own that. I mean, I put effort into the stuff I own, but this, it was a paycheck. And he's even talked before about dealing with like Marvel editorial too, and like all the issues he had with that. So I think you're starting to see a lot more creators being like, hey, if I'm going to put effort into something, if I'm not being expected to put effort into this, I'm not getting anything out of my effort that I do put into this over here in the big two. So let me do my passion projects. Let me do this.
What we're seeing right now is just the 90s repeating itself all over again.
Pretty much.
Because at exactly the same time as we have an oversaturated speculation market again, where we've got, and even worse than in the 90s, where we've just gone nuts with forced scarcity and overabundance of variant covers and making the thing too much about, and I mean I'm part of the problem to some degree, but like making it too much about making the product collectibles and not enough about actually telling stories. Simultaneously with creators feeling like their hands are tied, or like the companies don't even want them anymore, and going off and starting their own companies or working for Image.
Yeah.
It's just the 90s again.
Well, I know we were just talking about Donny Cates too. I think he was the one that started.
Except there's nothing good happening at Marvel.
Yeah.
And what's funny is DC was better than Marvel through most of the 90s.
Yeah.
There was still always something.
Yeah. Was it Donny Cates that started what was it, KLC Comics? That was a like McFarlane quote. That was like Kids Love Chains Press or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember that too. I think that was like right before. Was Donny Cates the one that had like that really nasty like motorcycle crash?
Yeah.
So I think that was him too. That I'm getting my timeline straight too.
He's apparently back or is about to come back.
Yeah.
And I don't know what exactly he's doing,
Right.
but he had some real bad personal stuff apparently.
Yeah.
And,
But I know he started his own imprint like right before a lot of that stuff hit. And
but he's supposed to come back to, I think, a Big Two thing. I'm not sure though. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, I know too that like Null was in the third Venom movie, and he didn't even know about that until he saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Which is such like a Big Two story you've heard over and over again.
Yeah, we're not surprised by that.
Yeah.
So Dan Schneider is going to make us read something with that stupid Paul character for Spider-Man. So, all right.
You know what? I'm here for. I'm ready.
We haven't had anybody pick anything because it's bad yet, so we'll do that.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be... He wasn't sure what to do. It's probably just going to be the start of Zeb Wells stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? It'll be good to check in with the nonsense. Supposed... I haven't read it. Let me finish.
Yeah, go
The
ahead.
supposed nonsense with Zeb Wells.
Yeah.
Because he's writing the Deadpool Batman crossover. Or
So
he's
that
doing
might-
at least part of it. So, I've never really cared for Zeb Wells.
Yeah. I haven't read.
I'm sorry to say.
I haven't read any of his like Spider-Man stuff, and I know there's a few folks who like it, but there's just as many who will say like, I have a friend who lives, I know through Fringe and Renfest, lives over in Texas, who, like, he started like a Marvel Facebook fan group, and like with a Zeb Wells run hit, like my computer almost exploded. It's like my monitor almost caught on fire from the stuff he was posting.
Oh, is he really? Austin said he's also writing the Marvel Zombie show. That got a trailer today, and I mean it looks a little better than I expected.
Yeah.
But they're predictably going to a lot of MCU characters I could not care less about.
Yeah.
The action looks okay. I don't care for that art style
Yeah.
at all. And I wish they would just adapt the original Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like it can't at all be from the zombies' perspective.
Right.
It's got to be some of the heroes that didn't get eaten just fighting the zombies.
Yeah.
What's interesting about Marvel Zombies was watching the like A-list heroes that have turned into zombies trying to resist that they've lost their humanity. That's what's fun about it.
Yeah. And I haven't watched the trailer, so I'm gonna need to catch up on everything. I've just been like a hole for the past couple of weeks. I apologize, everyone.
Oh, you're good.
I'm just gonna be in my.
Austin, you're right. He says they just don't understand the premise of Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And the problem is that franchise got away from itself, and there's been so many of those books that the premise changes is the problem.
Yeah.
The original Kirkman Marvel Zombies is wonderful. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Some people don't care for it. I've always been a sucker for that. It's a guilty pleasure for. I don't even want to say guilty pleasure. I think it's really well written.
Yeah.
But it is just the novelty of. I mean, it's Peter Parker feeling bad about eating the brains of all of his friends and family, but he has to do that to survive,
Right.
and B, he isn't actually still really human, but he wishes he was.
Yeah.
And all of that is both tragic and funny.
Right.
And that's what was great about it. And then the problem is, you kill off so many characters that when you try to do sequels, there's just not anybody left.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Like, that was never meant to be a sustained thing. It was just a miniseries, and,
Right.
and it was supposed to be left at that. So like, there are a couple of other cool stories you can do. The very next thing they did was the prequel. That's just the last days before the virus takes everybody.
Yeah.
And then they did some stuff with like Magneto and space. And like, there's not much else to do besides that. But they
Yeah.
kept trying.
Yeah. And imagine doing like the MCU, you've got like an even smaller pool to play around in too. And you know, I always laughed about the Bat embargo and how DC tried very hard to keep all their stuff separate, but that's worked out for them too. Like, if you don't like the movies, you have the animated series too. You have Justice League Unlimited. You've got the straight to video movies, the straight to DVD movies too. And I think Marvel is so focused on the MCU that's kind of, as far as like their media output goes, the be all end all, other than like the one Avengers game that like I never played.
Right.
I played Spider-Man 2.
Well, but like Marvel's the only reason they made that was because they spun it out of What If, so like that was
Yeah.
already an MCU place anyway.
Yeah, so I mean,
But yeah, Austin makes a good point when he says the original Marvel Zombies was a satire of how those characters existed so long. They're like zombies of themselves.
yeah,
And he says it's amusing that MCU doesn't see that, but of course they don't see that.
yeah.
Anyway, we're at 3.5 hours again. Somehow.
Sorry, buddy.
So I blame Austin. But thank you guys a lot for joining us. And next week we'll do the first. Probably I'll do some research and see if that's the thing that makes sense to do. But it's probably the first volume of Zeb Wells and Amazing.
Yeah. So
Aren't you excited?
I mean,
You
know,
won't see Chris next
I'm
week. There's no way he's showing up for that.
Exactly. You know, I'm curious about it because I've heard like just enough people say that I've heard enough people say they liked it and say that yeah, there's parts of it that are underappreciated. So I'm curious to see who's right. Because it's like we were talking about too with
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert.
I mean, here's the thing.
yeah.
This isn't fair.
Yeah.
And like I will be as open-minded as I can be about it.
Yeah.
But it feels like just a giant FU to the majority of Spider-Man fans who, or at least a lot of Spider-Man fans anyway, that like the Peter MJ relationship, and they just keep throwing they just keep throwing stones at us.
They do. Yeah.
So like maybe the writing is okay,
Right.
but like any way you slice it, I feel like you're just telling me not to read the book. Like.
We live in the post One More Day world, and
you created a character to be hated. It feels like
yeah.
who's gonna at all be like interested in a Mary Jane love interest that's not Peter? Like
That's Paul.
I don't know.
Who, I mean, from everything I know about Paul, it sounds like they made him be as crappy of a dude, as hateful of a dude as you could possibly make too.
Yeah.
Which that might be amazing just to read about this guy who is just so over the top awful. I don't know. Again, I've said before that part of the reason All-Star Batman and Robin sold well is idiots like me who wanted to watch the car crash. Who just want to take in like the memes. I picked that book up at issue 2 after I saw that panel. I was like, this book looks terrible and I need it. Put this in my veins.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I kind of resisted your talking about people that were actually taking up for that book.
Yeah.
Because when we read it and it's the worst thing ever, we're gonna wonder how like.
Exactly.
Okay, so all these people have zero taste then. Like,
to be fair, it would not be the first time that I've read
if
or
it's
watched
as bad
something.
as it sounds, I need people to have more taste than that.
Yeah.
But I've not read it, so we'll see what happens.
Would not be the first time I've read something and thought, how do you?
But we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll be back again next Tuesday for that.
For that.
Tomorrow night, Jason and I are I'm gonna bring you the 350th episode of the Captain Logan Show.
Oh, really?
Isn't that exciting?
Oh, wow, yeah.
We've got a couple ideas for what we're going to do for that show, so I'll announce that for sure tomorrow. We're going to start at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Right now, we're talking about doing a new, updated top 20 favorite movies list. That's probably what we'll end up doing. I got to sit down and make that.
Yeah.
And then if there's time, we'll probably do some rapid-fire Q&A on top of that. But I will announce for sure what we're doing tomorrow afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us, and we're going to get going.
Yeah.
I hope you had a good time, Chris.
I did.
I hope you're awake enough to drive home.
Oh, I am too. No, I'm gonna hit Quick Trip on the way back and caffeine up too. Just be
That's
like,
a good idea at 1:40 in the morning.
Look, would not be the first time.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yep, it's always fun. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time. I was Captain Logan, and this was Chris.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks.
Bye.